Do you have too much cushion in your push? Do you suffer from too much traction and action while you're thrashing and bashing at the late night smashing? Try Manscraper. Manscraper is for the manly man. Sure, you can get little kid trimmers from the competitors as they daintily dance around your third arm and muckles. Manscaped is for a different beast. It's for dudes from another brood who didn't politely need to clip but need to hedge trim like they leg-choked Wilt Chamberlain in the glory years. Using our patent-pending 15-horsepower chipper shredder with advanced gonad alert technology, we can promise you the best shave you're ever going to get. And with Manscaped 2.0, there's approximately 12% less chance of injury. For only $499.99, you can get the Manscraper. 4 plastic bags for collecting your work and a 6-ounce container of aloe vera. If you order now, we'll also throw in the Demansculator. If you have nose thunder, down under, or just need a good washing, just hang our 4.2-pound Demansculator from your junk. Why shower when you can power through the hour, smelling like a tower of flowers? The Demansculator gives your wrinkled boys the washing of a lifetime, certified to pass any antibacterial test for 6 months after use. Current research shows no impact on fertility. And last but not least, if you order now, we're going to throw in a little Gorilla Glue, because once you're done, you can make a beard out of all the leftovers. I mean, who doesn't want to dress up for Halloween, right? Why let all that good go to wasting? Manscaped, shaving your man grapes like you deserve. And if you join our Patreon now, you can join our photo collection group, where you can send in no, don't send me in nudes. Seriously, don't. No, I don't want to leave it because I'm sure somebody's going to be out there going, hey man, I'll send in some nudes after I wash my skunk. But anyway, Manscaped. Don't join the Patreon just to send nudes, but join the Patreon if you want to. Manscaped. If you want nuts so clean you can eat off them. Manscaped. We haven't killed anybody yet. We've been clipping what you've been dipping since porn wasn't shorn and everyone. Audibly acceptable audiobooks. Right now you can get over 100,000 million books through the Karak's audio bookstore. New York Times classics like I Married a Werewolf, Teen Bruisers, What Is This Dark Spot, Why Can't I Pull Off My Own Face, and the classic award-winning self-help book, How to Staple Your Mouth Shut by Here is just a small sample of the audio quality that you can expect. He flicked the hair out of his face, the sweat beading off of it, his weight pressed down on her, his lithe form finding comfort in her curves. There was a sensuous quality to her body he couldn't get enough of. He slipped her bra off smoothly and tossed it onto the hard concrete floor. Bill patted the old Corvette with one hand. That's it, baby. Let me know all your secrets. An entire world is waiting for you. Just download them on the go to your Android or that one company that fucking hates headphones, so they remove the port completely. Listen on the go. Pretend you're busy so you don't have to engage with others in society. And that's right, you can do it all from the comfort of your little safety cocoon of sound, you goddamned introverts. It's best if you also don't make eye contact and beat your head like you're cooler than everyone else is. Just $19.99 a month plus taxes and fees and VAT times 2, or our subscription service that's only $19.99 a month plus VATs and fees and service times 2. And allowing our tracking cookies, you can have instant access to all that you desire when it comes to the audio realm. So join Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks now, for when your eyes are just too fucking lazy to move side to side. And remember, you can't cancel at any time. Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks. Let's just stop moving as a species, you fatties. Today's podcast is brought to you by Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks. Right now, you can get over 100,000 million books through the Karak's audio bookstore. New York Times classics like I Married a Werewolf, Teen Bruisers, What Is This Dark Spot, Why Can't I Pull Off My Own Face, and the classic award-winning self-help book, How to Staple Your Mouth Shut by Here is just a small sample of the audio quality that you can expect. He flicked the hair out of his face, the sweat beading off of it, his weight pressed down on her, his lithe form finding comfort in her curves. There was a sensuous quality to her body he couldn't get enough of. He slipped her bra off smoothly and tossed it onto the hard concrete floor. Bill patted the old Corvette with one hand. That's it, baby. Let me know all your secrets. An entire world is waiting for you. Just download them on the go to your Android or that one company that fucking hates headphones, so they remove the port completely. Listen on the go. Pretend you're busy so you don't have to engage with others in society. And that's right, you can do it all from the comfort of your little safety cocoon of sound, you goddamned introverts. It's best if you also don't make eye contact and beat your head like you're cooler than everyone else is. Just $19.99 a month plus taxes and fees and VAT times 2, or our subscription service that's only $19.99 a month plus VATs and fees and service times 2. And allowing our tracking cookies, you can have instant access to all that you desire when it comes to the audio realm. So join Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks now, for when your eyes are just too fucking lazy to move side to side. And remember, you can't cancel at any time. Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks. Let's just stop moving as a species, you fatties. Today's podcast is brought to you by Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks. Right now, you can get over 100,000. What's up, everybody? This is Karak with ACG, and I'm here with Absy, Reg, Johnny. Silver had to leave. But luckily enough, we got Gaming Addict from the Lord's podcast
Last
to
second.
join us. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite.
Yeah,
Welcome.
no problem, man. Glad you could join us. You guys, I got to show you guys something. Don't worry, it's nothing creepy. But
Not like that.
I found my true filter for all podcasts. Dude, look at that.
There you go, dude.
That is
Sexy as
awesome.
fuck.
Look at what it makes your eyes do.
Oh, that's some demon shit. Can you
No
can
shit.
you laugh in
Come
an
to
evil
the
way?
dark side. Yeah, it's awesome.
You look like you're on some Molly, like some next level.
I wouldn't know because
High
I
grade.
don't touch nor do any drugs at all. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to
Sure.
say it's sort of like that. I wouldn't even be able to tell you a friend who did drugs because everybody here and everybody in my personal life know
The
drugs.
only drug you need is life and
It's true.
love
It's absolutely
and
true.
friendos.
And friendos. Sup, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. Yes, that's a joke about the thumbnail. Calm down. I saw people being like, is he going to sell an NFT? No, of course not. It's just a joke.
Unless
Unless
You can
you
take
want
a
to buy
picture.
an
Of
NFT.
your, you can take a picture of your bathroom and sell it as an NFT. I'm sure people will buy it.
Dude, didn't
The streamer did that.
Yeah, didn't Mr. T, not Mr. T, whoa, Dr. Disrespect, didn't he do a game and NFTs or something recently?
I think
yes, like
he's
an NFT
making
game. Yeah.
he's making an NFT. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, oh, you PvP and when you kill someone you win, and I don't know what that means, but apparently he is making an NFT game, which is all the buzzwords in the world.
Yeah, that is every buzzword.
Yes,
You know?
NFT game, crypto.
PvP
Buy in
shooter
now.
or something.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
if
to
this
the
is
moon.
giving anybody like epilepsy issues or something with my background, feel free to tell me and I'll switch it. I talked to these guys, they were fine, but I wanted to make sure that people watching don't have any particular issues. Do you eat cheese with your rice and chicken? I eat
the
cheese,
fuck?
and that's it. I was asked if I eat cheese.
I've never eaten cheese with rice. Like imagine just
Oh,
plopping a Swiss cheese on rice.
No, I've done it. You throw a little Parmesan cheese on top, like if it was
That actually
pasta.
doesn't sound too bad. I'm not
Okay,
gonna lie.
sure, Parmesan. doesn't sound
Especially if
too
you
bad, yeah,
remove
but-
the rice and chicken, you got a meal
Or
right
just
there.
the cheese.
Just cheese. A cheese
Dude, cheese is
casserole.
good on it. Dude, I
cheese.
put sticks of cheese dipped in
Oh.
peanut butter, fucking cheese with watermelon.
Cheese with 2 slices of Colby with a little peanut butter in between, like a sandwich.
Mm.
Did you say cheese with watermelon?
Oh fuck yeah, dude! You need to try
Cheese
that.
with watermelon?
You need
How
to
do
try
you
that
even-
shit.
I'm officially
Dude, trust
disgusted.
me.
Oh,
No,
I have seen that
no,
on drop
try
plates
it.
at parties where people
Take-
have had that.
Take like a piece of halloumi cheese. You know what halloumi cheese is, or like feta
Yeah.
cheese,
Yeah.
Yes.
with a slice of watermelon, and put it in your mouth, and tell me it's not good, and then we'll
Huh.
talk.
I don't really
I'm gonna
mix
try it. I'll
fruits and
I'll
cheese.
report back. I'm gonna try it. I'll report
yes,
back.
you better
That
report
sounds like
back,
a
yeah.
trap.
Yeah, it does. That sounds
Gonna
like
turn
one
you
of
into
those.
a werewolf or something?
Please trust me. It's an Arabic thing, all right. It's
Is it?
a Syrian thing.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
it's also in drop plates here. Like if you go to a party, they'll have fruits and vegetables next to the cheese, and I've definitely
all
seen
right,
people have
like
them.
with wine or whatever
yeah,
the fuck.
yeah,
and
you
little
pinky
bread
up
and stuff,
shit. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
pinky
like,
up.
where's the pop? When we went to the Ubisoft, did you go to a Ubisoft event ever, Lord Attic?
No. Oh.
Yeah. I went to one at E3 in like 2018 or 19.
Oh,
That
okay.
had like Red Bull and Pizza Hut. Like,
Dude, I wish we didn't. Cadiz and I went, and it was these little artisan pizzas. And I'm the guy who's like, listen, that ain't gonna work. And I was like, this is
Dude.
just not gonna work. I need pop, and I need something substantial. Delrith was there, and a couple other people were like, what the fuck are you doing? Wrong place. You don't come to America and deliver us little tiny itsy bit. I mean, it was in San
artisan
Francisco.
pizza just sounds like a
It was.
fancy way
They were
of saying
little
small.
tiny, and they were like, like shaved fennel on whatever. I don't
Sounds
know. I'm
about
just
right.
saying.
you
shit.
know what's funny? It was the E3 for Honored was like having the most information showed, and
Huh?
there's actually a YouTube video of me of them asking the crowd questions, and they asked me I got to ask a question, and I asked him, what is your typical PvP match gonna look like? And he's like he said like a multiplayer match, like completely dodged the question. Like
On what game?
on For Honored.
Oh, you're talking about Ubisoft still. I thought that was going to
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
pizza continuing discussion.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Now we
Yeah,
got to
I
get
was a
ready to
little bit
Gaming
confused.
Addict. Gaming Addict will leap around. All right, no, that's good. Chaos is good. We are going to talk about multiplayer though, because I want to discuss Halo for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm down.
But first of all, welcome to everybody watching. We haven't ignored you. We know you're there. It's just we don't get a chance. Well, admittedly, we do get a chance to talk. We talked for 30 minutes prior to this, but I guess it's a good sign we like one another. It's not like, have you ever heard of those TV shows where people, like the actors hate each other, you know, and they show, we're not like that, luckily. Yeah.
No, we love each other.
Yeah. I mean, I do pay them, so maybe that's why. Sometimes. I've missed a couple.
Yeah,
I'll miss a couple and then pay a bunch, and I'll get a DM. So I'm gonna be like, "Did you mean to
It's
pay
not
me?"
really
Like,
at the forefront, you know. You pay me by being you.
yeah, well,
It's
frankly,
like-
I'm in
it's
debt
like-
then.
It's like you messed up a super chat and put an extra digit. Did you mean
Yeah.
to do this? Like,
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've had that a couple times on your super chats, where because I've dropped a couple big bombs on your super chats on the Gaming Addict podcast, and people be like, "Did you mean to do that much?" Be like, "Yeah, man, it's worth it. You guys are awesome."
he started a super chat like marathon on my show one time.
Yeah, that feels good, man. It's a sign of a good friend. You know, get you
Oh
that.
yeah,
It is.
It's
Cruella.
definitely a real one.
It is. It helps out. What have you guys been playing? Everybody in chat, what have you guys been playing? Everybody here? Let's go with Addict, since we dropped him in without any real warning.
True.
What games you been playing, Addict?
I've been playing Demio. They just released it for the PC. I'm trying to get the golden ending for Triangle Strategy, so I've been doing that too. So that's pretty
How
much
is
all.
Triangle Strategy? I really was looking forward to it. I haven't played it yet.
Like, I'm a huge fan of like the old Final Fantasy Tactics, and that's the original reason that I was drawn towards that game. But you know, I won't say it's like that level of like that type of gameplay, but it is really good. It's just, you know,
And choice and consequence, is it actually good?
I'll say it's like half and half. Like, some choices actually matter and some don't. They do have branching paths and certain characters you can't get unless you do certain decisions. It's a good game. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
What about you, Johnny?
So I finished Tiny Tina. Very fun game. Enjoyed it quite a bit. I played a little bit of Weird West after you guys kind of sold me on it on the last podcast. Had some good fun with that as well. I love the style, the sound design in it. Lots of good stuff. And yeah, it reminded me of Persona 5 with the menus being so stylish and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what
having,
everybody
like,
brings up is the menus. It seems like the UI.
yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing to bring up, but it really for me was a highlight. And then also played a little bit of Lego Skywalker with a friend, and that's been a lot of fun.
You
Seen a
have
lot of
enjoyed it?
positivity about that game.
Yeah.
the Lego game.
I'm getting FOMO. I really want to play it.
Yeah, especially playing with a friend because we're both. He's a close friend, and we're both Star Wars fans.
Is there online co-op or is it just local?
No, it's only like
Damn.
split screen, and that sucks because we're playing on Steam Remote, which
Why?
admittedly works very well. Steam Remote, at least for this game, but it's just not the same. Having half of the screen, you know, it's been so long since I
and
played.
input lag, right?
Well, I haven't noticed any input lag with Steam Remote. It's been pretty good. Well, to be
Interesting.
fair, my friend didn't notice. It's what he said. Like, it was working fine for him.
Gotcha.
I'm playing local, to clarify.
Yeah, I
But,
feel like some of those studios mess up with that local stuff, like Cuphead. Like, man,
Yes. And
Yeah.
well, Karak kind of explained it. You know, it's like you add more complications when you have online.
Yeah.
Right?
Of
Because you
course,
have to
yeah.
handle-
It's a whole realm of development that they don't have to.
But for
worry
a
about.
game that's such a like co-op is such a central thing for those Lego games, I would want to see like full screen online.
What about you, Reg?
Well, first off, of course, the same game as every week. And apart from that, Star Wars as well. That was the main side game.
And
haven't
you've been
found the
enjoying
Ark?
Star Wars? Oh, no, he's never going to find the Ark.
Damn.
The last arc is actually not in the game, so yeah. You never
Wow.
find-
What a
never
con.
gonna find
It's
the
not
arc.
What
even-
a con. Well, Final Fantasy's been a con since the very first game, so let's be honest.
Oh,
true.
not the
This
actual
is not
final.
the final.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, never the Final Fantasy.
What do you think of Lego, Reg?
Like it so far. I'm sad that it didn't work on the Steam Deck or doesn't
it
work on the
worked.
Steam Deck. Well, no. 15 FPS is not working.
Hey man, that's
That's-
that's the artistic vision, all right? You're
Oh
supposed to play
God,
it.
the cinematic or whatever. That's cinematically. That's actually.
Deadly Premonition or whatever the fuck.
The Steam compatibility check says it doesn't work on Steam Deck. I tried anyway, and it does boot, but it runs so slow that it's not playable. Forget it
Wow.
on there. It does work fine via streaming, obviously. So I streamed from my PC to the Steam Deck, and that
Right,
was fine then.
right. That makes sense. You're using
I
Moonbeam.
played a couple hours, so I only played through the first movie so far.
For streaming, or using Steam's, or using.
No, Steam quality is
my
terrible
word.
for streaming to the Steam Deck.
Gotcha. Oh,
It's like-
of course. It
What
only
do you
makes
it's
use
sense.
then?
it's really terrible by comparison to anything else.
Yeah, yeah. It's so weird. What about you, Abs?
What have I've been pretty swamped this last week, so I haven't done much gaming. But the 3 games are Weird West, and I'm still on the second character. I haven't progressed much. What's the other one? Tiny Tina's with the grill, and some more Elden Ring. Yep.
Do you think you have an issue? Well, we know you have an issue, but do you think you have an
Many.
issue with getting too
Many, yeah.
in depth and then not completing? Because this seems to be an issue I've noticed with you. Is like you'll get into Weird West and I'll subtly hint, dude, there's more characters, and you'll be like, yeah, I'm still on my second character. And I'll be like, yeah, this has been 5 days. There's other characters. And you'll be like, yeah,
I
still.
definitely probably do have that issue, but no, this last week I've just been swamped. Like
Oh,
I haven't
gotcha.
put in much hours at all.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
yeah, no. Like the thing is, the story is starting to become very interesting, and I heard it gets even more interesting as
It
I go
does.
on.
It gets.
I
wild.
Yeah, and I kind of want to put like I I have this issue where I just want to explore everything and I want to do everything and blah blah blah. I just have to put that aside for a bit and just kind of see where the story goes and just enjoy it, right?
And there's nothing. I mean, you're getting your money out of it.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter if you're doing all the characters.
I'm
or
getting
not,
my
but I
dollar
just
a month
noticed
money out of it for sure.
Oh, is that Game Pass for you?
That's Game Pass. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
gotcha.
downloaded it. I still ain't because like everyone's speaking so highly of it. I do intend on playing it eventually.
Dude, the game's so good. Like, I'm not saying it's Elden Ring, even though Elden Ring had technical issues day one.
Yeah.
So-
It's funny because we have Max Payne news, but the bullet time in that game reminds me of Max Payne. You know, like when you
Oh, for sure. It's a
when you
staple.
jump
Yeah.
right and you have like slow down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just such a there. It's just really fucking good.
The
like
thing,
it's
it's just it gives you goosebumps. Like it's just so badass. Like right from the intro,
yeah.
like you get going and it's grimy and weird and kind of it's just very badass, you know. And you're like, fuck
And
yeah.
there's
like,
expectations you have of that kind of game that it does met out, but then it also has changes to that kind of game. So and the world is weird, like you said. So you're all right. So what is magic? Like everything's going to be slightly on its head in this game. So what is happening? And then you get to second character, and you're like, what the?
and shit
is
just
going
keeps
on?
getting weirder. Like
Yeah.
the weird stacks on the weird. I don't know, man. Like it's unique, and I love dark fantasy and stuff. And it's just they do it in such a. It's like you never know if it's like a serious game or just fucking. It's just weird, you know. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, and it's a good palate cleanser from all the other. It's not a AAA.
Mm.
You know, it's not a super polished. It's got some issues. Well, the super polished ones aren't super polished these days, but there's something about it that just feels awesome. I did note that a lot of people are saying they still don't like the control on the console, the gamepad. with
Oh,
that game.
is it bad with controller?
I don't know if it's bad. It's just they're not happy with it. Like, it's
the
just not as
I tried on
finesse.
controller with the
Mhm.
Steam Deck, and it's.
Oh, I
just
bet aiming would be a
way worse.
bitch. I bet aiming would be a bitch on
Yeah.
that with the
Yeah,
controller.
it is the
Yeah,
aiming.
because Reg and I were talking about you don't have instant speed on a joystick. It's only as fast as whatever the acceleration is. So it's not like so if you're trying to aim high or yeah, I could see that being
Because
Yeah.
there's z-axis, y-axis, x-axis, right? And it's I don't know with the I feel with the stick it'd be hard to really pinpoint where you want to aim.
Mhm.
I also want to give a shout out as an old time wrestling fan. I was sad to hear that Scott Hall died. You guys don't. I probably don't know who he is, but Big Daddy Diesel and Razor Ramon, like they came into
Yeah, I had a
WCW
friend
when
that
I
was
was
really
young.
big on it.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I know.
and he had got his life all together and got everything fixed and ended up like just having one of those things that just pops up, and it's like infections and shit when you get older, and he's lived a hard life. But that dude was like, it's weird. Every day I wake up, there's another person that like I grew up watching dying, and it just sucks, man. It's like, yeah, and WWE is weird. WWF in particular. NFL's probably the same way, where because of the misuse of their bodies, they die quicker. So one day I was watching an old video I had, everybody was dead. Every person in that WrestleMania was dead in real life. And I was watching it going, it's fucking 20 ghosts. It's 20 ghosts fighting. It's so raw to watch that. But yeah, he passed away. I was really sad. What were you going to say?
People don't realize that just because, like, you know, the storylines and stuff are fake, like that physical activity in those rings is very real. Like,
oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. I do want to read this. Zach Jansen, $7 super chat. Lego Star Wars not having online co-op is truly tragic. We'll probably still pick it up though. Yeah, it is tragic. It is tragic. I don't know exactly why they did it. I guess they're afraid of peer-to-peer. I don't know. Maybe they're afraid of it inducing issues, but maybe save game issues. Who knows?
Do you feel like when it comes to games like that, like if it would internally need a delay to get that kind of feature, do you think it would even be worth putting into? Because I feel like the sales might make that worth it, but I don't know. Like,
well, it sells on Star Wars and Lego first and co-op third. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna see a billion more sales. Also, it's the number one Lego game of all time already. So at some point, they're gonna look at it and be like, "Awesome" or "awesomer."
Yeah,
we're okay with awesome. And who knows, guys? Doing successful does mean a company may say, "Hey, you know what? We are gonna add co-op in here, or we are gonna add something in here," which would be great. But
that'd be nice.
Yeah,
that would cause me to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, being able to play online would be a true bonus, but there's ways on PC to get around that.
Yeah.
This is one of the true, like, very like Lego games that I'm just seeing everywhere. So like, I know people are loving this thing. Like,
are you seeing the video where this dude uses a little kid?
Yeah,
because kids can't die.
That is amazing.
So they juggle the kid in the air over and over. They combo him to skip a whole level. It's
wow.
I love that you can do shit like that.
There's a lot of combos in the game too. Every character has like a mini combo.
I mean, you got, dude, you got like DMC.
Characters.
You know the people that like upload DMC videos, all these combo videos. They're uploading Star Wars shit. Like I'm seeing a lot of them where you can do some nasty cool shit.
What were you gonna say, Addict?
Did you see the video where they were in front of the Jedi temple and they're like, "We're gonna go in there, we're gonna kill the kids. Is everyone okay with killing the kids?" I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you have to ask that though these days. Who knows if your stream's going to get banned? Because didn't they ban a YouTuber completely from putting women on the train tracks in Red Dead 2?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember
did they actually ban him
they
for
did
that?
Ban.
I think
no,
they
I
did.
think they fully banned that
Yeah,
channel.
he was the what were they called? The
suffrage.
Suffrage, yeah. Those women, and he would tie them up and put them on a train,
Yeah.
and then like feed them to alligators or something. I remember that shit.
Yeah, he got
that kind of.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, that kind of reminds me of a game I used to play where I think it was Way of the Samurai, where if you do a dialogue right at the beginning, he ties you up to a train track, and if you don't like beg him to get out, he lets the train run you over.
Right at the starting?
Yeah.
Was that a PS2 game, Way of the Samurai?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that. Let's see. LOL, that's in the game. Why is it the streamer's fault? Well, I'm not saying it's not the streamer's fault, or it is. But you can certainly turn. You can
just
turn
pressure on YouTube.
Well, you can also turn something created by somebody else into something terrible by just editing.
Yeah.
A movie.
He went out of it was
he went out of his way. He did it, and that's what happens. It sucks to be the first one.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem with YouTube too. A ban, probably pretty stupid, right? Like you could have just said, all right, you know, YouTube doesn't really have anything in regards to soft bans or anything. It's usually just like you're gone or you're demonetized. They're really screwed up. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but on Twitter a couple days ago, somebody was asking YouTube, about ads, and YouTube was like, well, we don't inject ads, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, you for sure do. I have video of you guys injecting 8 ads into a video where I didn't. They're like, manually, that's actually done, by somebody else. And I think Hogue or whatever, the gaming lawyer, popped on and was like, yeah, I got to back him up. That's for sure done. So YouTube doesn't even know what they do. The YouTube employees don't even know how YouTube works. I mean, at some point, you just have to sort of shake your head.
Well, I believe it because probably 99% of YouTube is run by some rogue AI.
Rogue AI.
Baroque AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people
hey,
are saying it's just a video game or whatever. It's like, yeah, even if someone writes an essay or a dissertation about races, it's just words. You could say that too, but it's it's still like the the intention and
I do think
right?
that does point out YouTube's weakness. YouTube should have a soft ban kind of thing, and they don't. They're just like, boom,
I think
you're gone,
that's
and
a
they
problem
don't tell
with
you.
It's also a bigger issue with Twitch because you just never know, and there's a lot of loopholes.
Twitch just seems worse.
Oh yeah, it's way worse. Yeah,
it's way worse, and it's real time. Well, we're real time, but I mean, it's real time as in it's all real time, so it's a little harder to catch some of the stuff. But on YouTube, come on, man. You just like they need to step up their game. They're sitting here, they're spending so much money on grabbing these Twitch streamers that all they do is bring drama. I don't know if you guys have noticed, the more Twitch streamers that come to YouTube, the more they try to cause drama with each other. And it's something that on YouTube there is drama, but it's usually like, I disagree with this person. This person's stupid.
Yeah, no, Twitch
is
drama,
long-term family ass redneck drama,
That's
like, high school
it is.
drama.
It's a cult.
It is. It is. And they bring it over. It's so weird. I've been watching some of them, and they're like, so-and-so slaps back at so-and-so, and you're like, seriously? Like,
they'll be making fun of each other doing the announcement trailers. Like, I don't need cars to do my announcement trailer.
Oh, God, whatever. That's so weird. Somebody's asking if we've seen the Halo TV show yet.
No.
That's a good question.
Not yet.
I've seen all 3 episodes.
But you know what? I've heard cautiously optimistic, or
I've
even
heard seriously nothing positive ever.
Oh,
So you're the
really?
first person
Holy
to say
shit.
that there was anything positive.
It's a pile of steaming dog shit,
man.
Like,
Is it?
Yeah, it look. I'm not saying that what they did is right or wrong, because sure, like I know there's that concept that's like, if I wanted to play the Halo game, I would play the Halo game. I don't want it in its exact replica of the game, and that's valid. I'll give you that, but it's just like, to a point, if you don't at least try to remotely stay within the lines of Halo, I think that's disrespectful towards the people that made the brand what it is. Like, the only thing I could say is they did Cortana justice. That's the only criticism that I can give that's positive. Everything else, down. Like,
oh wow.
Didn't they show his face like the first episode or something, or
I don't want to go into spoilers, but it's bad.
I will say, as somebody who read the books and knows John as a child, and if you read the books, the originals, I don't have an issue showing his face. I don't know why that hasn't been so much of an issue to me.
I think they
okay.
they have to. I think if it's like a series,
because it's a TV show,
a TV show, right?
Yeah, it'd be pretty weird.
I mean,
if
look
he was
at
always helmeted.
Mandalorian. That succeeded pretty well with almost never showing his face.
Yeah, that is true. That is
And
true.
he was still
But Star Wars
expressive.
also has about 87,000 books and novels and stories and lore to back up that
true.
being a thing. Where
Very much
Halo's
so.
got a couple books and
Yeah,
some
and
really bad lore in some of them.
I think what it is too is
But I
it's
agree
not
with
like, it's not that he takes his helmet off. That shit never comes on. Like, it doesn't even feel like Master Chief. Like,
really?
I think that's what the issue is. Like, I think the intro at the beginning where it shows the Spartan armor being built, you can literally take that duration, and that's how long he's had his helmet on in 3 episodes. Like,
All right.
So
I
I
highlights
like
of
the
it-
TV show, the 5
The web
episode-
series.
Yeah,
I liked Forward Unto Dawn.
Forward Unto Dawn. Yeah, I thought that was enjoyable.
I was gonna say like when especially when Master Chief shows up in Forward
Mhm.
Unto Dawn, that shit was epic as
And
fuck.
I like
yeah.
the
That
girl.
was great.
She was in Ender's
Yeah.
Game, I believe. The female lead from that. I actually thought that was a very enjoyable. But again, it's not a TV show.
No,
Yeah.
it was like a short movie basically.
I mean, so yeah, let's talk about Halo. All right, so one of the things I put out was a tweet yesterday. I do want to talk about Halo. So when Halo first came out, I don't know if you guys remember, but originally, you know, they weren't saying it was going to be separated multiplayer. They were like, Halo Infinite's coming out. And then they were like, we're doing free-to-play multiplayer. And I got a bunch of heat for saying, so bear with me here, because I'm trying to explain myself. This makes sense to me. It doesn't seem to make sense to anybody else. When they announced it as free-to-play, I was like, well, technically, multiplayer is just a mode in the single-player game, so it's free-to-play. It's already a mode. And it has been since day one. So the expectation is that it was already in the game that you buy. So to me, I was like, free-to-play, it doesn't really mean as much, I guess, as it did to everybody else. Because I was like, I was already getting it when I bought the single-player game. But what bothered me is I was trying to tell people what's going to happen is you're going to have two separate style games, two separate development cycles, two completely different things where even you guys have worked in offices where somebody working on a completely separate thing bumps into somebody else and they talk and suddenly an idea between the two comes up, this genesis of information, right? And I got shit on a lot for saying that was going to happen. And that's where we are. It is exactly where we are. And one of the reasons why I think with Halo, even if you like the multiplayer, guys, you can't say it's awesome. That multiplayer is when their own developers are
It's a
like,
huge
hey,
step down.
hey, we know you guys are out of patience. That's the developer. So if you have an issue with what I'm saying, talk to the developer because they agree. That they have an issue. And I do feel that because it's not combined with the single player game, the single player game just came and went. And now you have people on Twitter going, well, I hope the multiplayer
there's no
has
co-op
PvE,
yet.
or I
Like
hope, right. All this stuff, if it had succeeded, all that momentum would have gone into the continuation of the single player, the continuation of the co-op, and the continuation of the multiplayer. What we have now is we don't even know what we're getting for the single player. Like, are you getting an expansion? Are they doing, like, is there going to be new chapters? And I'm sure somebody probably has been watching something. Maybe they've mentioned this. But what I mean is it's not in the zeitgeist at all. And then co-op is not even... It just keeps getting pushed back. And multiplayer is sort of a mess. And I firmly do believe that this was a huge misstep. And guys, I got to say, man, they haven't done well with Halo. Master Chief Collection was a fucking turd.
Oh,
it was
so bad.
a turd of unbelievable proportions that, by the way, again, if you disagree with me, talk to Microsoft because they actually
that was
agree.
Abandoned for years.
It was abandoned for years. And we get the same thing now. I liked the single player of Infinite.
Yeah.
But do you guys agree? Do you guys think it was a mistake, or do you just think it's a thing and that they just can't do?
Here's the thing, like I think ever since Fortnite, it came out obviously free to play. It did so fucking well.
Yeah.
The battle pass thing made them so much money, and a lot of developers saw that. I feel like a lot of multiplayer games started going free to play with this battle pass bullshit, right? Now the battle pass isn't like the worst thing in the world. I think once there's like a kind of like there's like a like once you hear okay it's going free to play, you know they're gonna cut back on something and they're gonna make it like they're gonna sell something instead, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that whole switch, it was a huge step down from the other like the armor sets, like what you can earn in game, the XP gain, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just once you go free to play, and then you start focusing, you start going that way, like in that path for finance. It just changes the whole progression system and everything, and it was just like a huge step down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that ruined, and also there were a lot of issues even with the single player portion. They showed a trailer and obviously, you know, it looked like trash, and they had, you know, there were a lot of issues in development as well. And co-op not coming out, I think, is a massive deterrent, because I mean, I've never played a Halo single player ever. I think I played through every campaign on co-op. Right. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of things working against it. But yeah, the free to play thing was a huge red flag, I think, from the get go. I mean, people said, yeah, it was awesome because more people get to play that don't need to buy the game, but with it comes these, you know.
Oh, by the way, that's actually wrong.
What do you mean?
More people have not played it.
Exactly. I mean,
so it didn't work. Whatever numbers they thought they were going to hit, they didn't hit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Does anybody else agree with us, or do you guys disagree? Go ahead, Reg. I can see you getting ready to say something.
Yeah. No, I think the concept itself could have worked.
Okay.
I think especially if they looked like something like Call of Duty Warzone, which is free to play.
Oh,
Call of
okay.
Duty split off, which is doing quite well
Yeah.
for itself. But when I hear some news snippets of like, yeah, we know we're slow and we're working on it. Like we're budgeting the features we want to bring out. We're budgeting the roadmap. We're hiring people for it. It's like, why didn't that happen sooner?
Right.
It seems like they decided to release a free-to-play title and only now are starting to think about what that actually means.
And by the way, is Forge out, Reg? Or is Forge not out
No.
either?
No, I don't
Dude,
think
I'm
it is.
telling you guys, and I saw some of you guys nodding.
They
When
dropped the ball.
They did,
completely.
because when you're in a group, and anybody who's worked in an office can tell you this, especially even if you are not connected to those other projects. It happens. You go into the lunchroom, you sit down. What project you're working on? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Hey, really? That worked? Yeah, it worked well. And suddenly you get called into that meeting. They're like, that worked for you? They're different. They're completely different groups. And this idea that now they're saying they're hiring reminds me of when people were freaking out about Remedy, which we're going to talk about, but Max Payne. And if you read the Max Payne thing, it says we're starting. Like, we're still 3 years out from those, or 2 years maybe.
It's for investment. It's they just announced
exactly.
it for investing.
And plus
Johnny?
for talent too. They want people to know, you know, that we're working on these titles. One of your favorite titles ever. So
Do you want to come work with us?
Come work with us, man. We need your help.
Yeah, Johnny, what, do you care about any of this? I mean, you don't
Yeah,
track
I
it probably
do.
as much. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, I do care. I mean, I'm interested in playing the campaign, but I'm the kind of person who would want to play that in co-op. You know, that's really what I would like to do. Like playing that solo, there's something about it that just isn't as appealing. And so for me, the appeal is kind of gone. And the problem is when that comes around, like the momentum is also gone, right?
Like early access in a way. You've already experienced that.
And we always talk about that. It's hard to replicate the momentum of the launch unless you have some big event, which maybe they can pull off. But it's hard to reignite the excitement because it's always going to be like Halo. Oh, you mean the one that released like December?
There's
or
other
whatever?
games coming out, man. I'm going to read the
other
super
games
chat
coming
and then I want to hear what Gaming Addict has to say. Also, I saw Miss Bubbles and a couple other people saying that they weren't getting notifications. There's two things. One, it should do notifications. Two, I've not been choosing the review playlists because we talked about this on the podcast prior, 2 or 3 podcasts ago, prior to the podcast going live, where I was trying to figure out if you could subscribe to a playlist. Some people, if you can, maybe people are subscribed to the reviews playlist and not subscribed to the channel. I don't know if that's possible. Every time I look it up, I get varying degrees of like, yes, you can, no, you can't.
I didn't get a notification today. No.
Okay, most people said that. Waxo, $5 super chat. What advice would you give small reviewers who can't get content out before those early access? It gets deterring at times. Thanks for the super chat. Honestly, here's what I have to say. I think there are 2 huge gaps, and I'm just going to give out some free knowledge. First, early access itself. There's enough early access games that if you were to give impressions and hit impressions multiple times, you may only get 2 subscribers for 1 video. You may get 2, 4, 5, 6. Once you become known as doing early access games that aren't the reviews and aren't the big previews from people, that will help you. That would be right now a thing. Another thing, and this is going to be very difficult, I'm doing it, and it's quite difficult, and that's reviewing a game after it gets patches. Like a patch report. It used to be called... No, Port Report was Total Biscuit. There's a name someone had that I thought was really good about talking about a game after a patch. Those are 2 spots that I think people are racing for the big stuff, including myself. That just happens or that's all you have time for. Elden Ring comes out and you're like, I don't have time to cover the small stuff. There is stuff also, if you cover early access, you'll get on lists for smaller PR and they will reach out to you. So that's a good place to start. Another super chat. Hustle, what's up, bud? Hey, everyone. It's great to see you all. Thank you very much. We need to get you back on the podcast, Hustle, too. Lizard Queen, $5 super chat. What do you feel about the quality of writing in games as of late? I feel that most games are incoherent at best nowadays.
It's a lot of safe going on.
There's some really good ones, some really bad ones. I don't think like...
Yeah, right? Don't you guys agree?
Yeah.
There's just good and bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then you have Elden Ring that still doesn't really have a narrative in the way that you know what I mean?
It's like
Yeah, but
finding
once you
little
actually-
notes.
Yeah.
Once you pick that game apart and find out what's going on, it's pretty deep. Like,
It
does
is,
get
but I
deep,
will
yeah.
say that you have to pick it apart to get that deep. And
Yeah.
you could play it and never get there. It's completely possible to play that and not really understand.
And honestly, the structure of the story and the writing
What
is
structure?
just very similar to Dark Souls.
Dark
Like
Souls, yeah.
it's the same story repackaged, and maybe with a
Yeah.
richer back lore for sure. I won't.
Yeah, because the
argue.
way they do storytelling is like through gameplay, right? You just do your own story,
Well, and
like you have your own
snippets,
journey,
They've got
right?
snippets, which I love, but it's just
Yeah.
the reason why it's not coherent is because you can go anywhere. How do you make a
Yes.
story?
Right,
The
right,
only way to do it would be to say random generation of items, but the random generation has to actually not be random. It has to only be random that you can get part 1 if you're 25 levels away.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't know any developer, by the way, who's going to look at that and say, well, maybe the guys who did Weird West, but most developers would look at that and be like,
And
I'm
I
out.
think main
I'm not
stories and open world games have always been like even like Fallout, you
'cause
gotta
can
find your
experience-
kid, right?
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
who
go
does,
find your
right?
kid, but who the fuck you're
Yeah.
out there
My
farming,
kid's
you're
still
out there like
abandoned,
dancing and shit.
right?
you know what?
Yeah.
You
Go
know
ahead,
who did a
Danny.
good job? Mad Max. I thought that was a
I
good
did too.
job.
A lot of people didn't like that game. I fucking thought
I
the
loved it.
narrative in that and how
Karak
it
just
told
got
the
a boner.
story. I got a Mad Max, but I got a mad boner for Mad Max.
Oh yeah.
But I want to swing back, Gaming Addict. We were talking about something prior, and I wanted to get your feedback on Halo. Split, full, free to play. Did it? Like, what do you think? Did it matter?
I think it needed to be free to play because at the
Oh,
end of the
okay.
day, like you have to compete in a market that everything else is free to play.
Okay.
So I think it would be hard to sell this game to people when everyone can just go to Fortnite, Apex Legends. Like it would be different if it was like 1 or 2, but I think Fortnite pretty much put it like if you're a multiplayer game, you got to be free to play to compete. Like it's not even about quality at
All
that
right.
point. Like when you could just go on a store and play Fortnite, Apex Legends, Warzone. I mean, there's so many of them that aren't even popular. They just got like medium sized thing. I think the biggest issue is, I don't think they knew what they wanted to do. I think the developer, because the way I've been told is it was kind of up and down with what they wanted to go and what direction they wanted to go. And by the time they got a center gravity on what they wanted to do, the pandemic happened. And then it was kind of hard to develop under those circumstances. I feel like, look, I don't think that Halo needs a battle royale, but I do think that that's what's popping right now in terms of multiplayer, and it's been doing it for years. So it's just like, I feel like that arena stuff, it works, but it's not mainstream anymore. It's not going to bring in the masses.
Let me push back on one thought, though. If all that's true, Halo not only doesn't have that, it doesn't even have the staples Halo is known for. Is what I'm saying.
Forge, co-op.
Forge, co-op. And what Halo could have done is something that other companies couldn't do, which is make a popular multiplayer without needing to be free to play. If there's any company out there that's got the money, they bought fucking Activision. They bought a continent. I mean, that's fucking more than a lot of like entire nations are worth. So if they can do that, and now they're just saying, oh shit, we got to hire for Halo or whatever Reg was saying. They ate the potato. They didn't just use it as a bong. They fucking swallowed it afterward. Like, how do you
they
get
bought
to
the potato factory?
Yeah, how do you get to that point? And they're the only, I agree with, I see what you're saying, like the current competition. But here's the thing. Halo is now watching where everybody goes and then says, let me get to the front so I can lead them. And that's not a leader.
They try to jump the line.
That's
and
just
they
the
got,
fastest
they got
person in the
trampled
marathon.
on.
Exactly. What Halo could have said is, remember EA? Single player games are dead. And then what happens? A bunch of fucking single players are like, fuck you. And they go out and they do amazing titles. And EA's like, hey, we were wrong. Microsoft doesn't need to have not only not delivered all of the shit that they're known for, but also separated two things that could keep you playing. For example, when I'm playing multiplayer, let's say I was waiting for a game for you, and it's all contained in one spot. I might say, I'm going to do a level of Halo single player or co-op, and then I'm going to jump into multiplayer with you guys. Everything's just sort of contained. Now it's fucking everywhere. I don't know, man. I do have a hate boner for those guys. It's now come to this point to where whatever happened with Master Chief Collection feels like it's now happening or has continued to happen, I guess.
Here's how I think that they should have done. I'm not a developer. I can only go off the trends that I see that goes on through the years. I feel like you can't I can't really go out and say that free to play wasn't the right move when they didn't do it right. Like they tried. I felt like they put the money before the free to play. Like they're like, okay, you're not gonna pay for this game, but you're gonna give us money. Like having the bundles outpacing everything else.
Was saying. Yeah,
I think that's the catalyst though, because they had such a unique thing going with their multiplayer that was different than other multiplayer games.
It felt different.
They always had that unique thing and unique progression and everything through gameplay you can earn and mix and match between single player and multiplayer and all that stuff. And they just wanted to do what other people were doing and it just didn't translate well because it just you can see it literally. You can play like Halo 3 or whatever the fuck, and you can play this game and see how much of the multiplayer is just
it's ridiculous.
So much worse because of this like free to play battle pass shit that they want to do. Could you even like choose your own game mode now? Did they even fix that? Or?
They did give you playlists, but like the issue that was the issue because they were forcing people. The issue they have with the ranking system, where people will leave over and over again because they're not getting the correct mode that they were wanting to do.
Right.
You had the issue with the battle pass was god awful. I don't know what they were thinking when they made that battle pass. Like, and it's just like I said, like. Halo to me has always been a shooter first, everything else second. And you know when I knew it was bad is when I saw they were putting basic colors behind a paywall.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's sad.
One of the best things in Halo was like you'd get an armor, right? And then in order to customize the armor or change like your arm or change like your chest piece, it was like get 50, headshots or like do like this cool challenge or try to get like 5 jump kills or whatever. And you unlock these pieces. And now it's like, nope, it's just like you pay, you level up.
I remember when Halo didn't have that and it was awesome. You were just playing multiplayer.
Sure, that like, too. I mean,
it's not that that's not even there.
I do agree with you, but at this point, it's like I said, like Halo was dominant back then because it was a good game, and I don't think the competition is what it is today, too.
What do you mean? You mean their ability to compete?
Back when the Halo was like at its rise,
there was
competition then, but it's not like it is now.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh yeah, the gaming industry itself was,
which is great in a way. I guess we just have to look at it and just be like, maybe those are the old times. You get what you get.
I think Halo could come back,
but I just wish the competition. I just wish the competition, motivates people to do their own thing rather than motivating them to do what everyone else is doing.
Here's the thing: if you say come back, that means you've lost ground anyway.
Well, no, they've already lost ground, like a massive amount of ground.
And Destiny, I don't like, but look at Destiny. Like they can
come back like nothing happened.
They can come back and they do terrible. Yeah, they're like, hey man, we're sunsetting, blah blah blah, and all this stuff, and it's got great shooting, right? So that's why people return, and it's easy to get into. Well, that's debatable.
It's like what Absol said. Like everyone wants Destiny money, but no one wants to do what Destiny did. Destiny was there at the beginning. They built their foundation. It kept falling down over and over again. They keep rebuilding it over and over again, and they've got a symmetry that it worked. Sure, it had issues. It had massive issues, but we're here like 10 years later almost, and that game is still relevant. That people want that success, but they don't want to do that man work that they did.
I do feel it's relevant, but it feels like a superstar agent NFL player who is old and goes to multiple other teams, and they catch one and people are like, they're back, and you're all and then you look at their numbers
one every year, one ball every year.
That's worth the $55 million. Hey, hopefully nobody thinks we hate Halo because I love Halo. That's the problem.
I want Halo to succeed.
And of course.
Right now,
beyond
what they're doing,
anything, I would love to see Halo succeed.
Yeah,
because it would make Destiny do Destiny 3.
Eat shit.
The only thing I could
get in that fucking game.
The only rebound I could see that could really bring it back is they need to go back and remaster some of these old maps. They need to make sure that they have weekly activities such as like Griffball, and they need to do all of this. Like season 2, obviously, is not going to happen. Season 2 should have launched with like a massive single player thing to get the people back on single player. And then they're like, we redid multiplayer in the process. Like that's the only thing I can see refreshing that is you have to get people back with the single player content, and then they'll try the multiplayer again after that.
Johnny just reminded me of something too. He said he didn't play. He doesn't think he played Halo single player, and it dawned on me whenever I get together with my friends and I talk about any of the Halo games, it's always the Scarab battle or some other battle with multiple people in the co-op.
Mm-hmm.
And in multiplayer is cool. I got a
They dropped the
headshot.
ball with that,
That's
too.
one thing. I got a headshot. That's awesome. I did really well in MP. That's awesome. But single player and co-op storytelling as a group, there's that moment when we can all say, do you remember getting the flood? Like that was a legit complete genre change in a game where you were playing a sci-fi game and suddenly you were like, is this a horror game? What is happening? Like it's like the Alien all of a sudden. And and we all got to experience it together. When I was playing Infinite, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I wish I could tell, oh, nobody's playing it with me. Like
Plus,
you
like,
almost
the
are like,
tools
hey,
they
Tell
give you,
someone
right?
in your party.
You have to
just like,
Discord
did
it.
you remember this part? Like,
yeah. Sorry.
Plus,
Go ahead, Absy.
they give you so many tools to do cool, nutty shit, right? Like with the
They used to.
grapple and like.
Oh, you mean
yeah,
Infinite? Yeah.
But
for
in
sure.
Infinite, you have these tools, and like you can do cool shit, but you have no one to do it with, and no one to experience that with you, which I think is a huge, deterrent for sure.
Looks like people in here say about the same thing, but I think what I'm seeing here is a lot of people saying something that we didn't bring up until the middle, which was Forge. I had forgotten Forge it's beyond huge.
Forge is the lifeblood
It's
of
the
Halo.
lifeblood of, and that not being there with co-op.
Yeah.
I mean,
I even think that's more important than co-op.
I'm
Co-op was really important,
sort
but
of thinking the
Forge
same
kept the
thing.
multiplayer going.
and not only that, but you saw people do shit in Forge, like make old maps or what. So like if the company didn't do something, those guys would be like, well, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but they also made maps that were like part 2 of an official map. They'd be like, this is like part 2 of this. And people got into it, and that's where it sort of came from. But anyway, not to kick a dead horse. It's not dead, but it's certainly really old.
I think
it's an egg
think
out in the forest.
I think it would have been better if they just didn't release it and just waited, then
and put
rather
it
than
all
release
together
at
as
the same-
one
Yeah.
thing.
Because
Sad
everyone's
part
gonna
is-
remember the launch. That's it, or not remember it, which is even worse.
Yeah, the launch is the key component. It's like I said, the only thing I could see to get massive amount more people into it is like they have to drop like a key single player focus into that with the co-op,
Yeah.
and they have to do a lot of stuff with the single player. Like I just don't understand how they didn't, like they have all these classic maps and no one over there felt like, let's get like 10, 15 people together and remake some of these maps and make it for launch.
Couldn't
Like
you say
imagine
the
if you
same
play,
things
like,
being
Guardian
done
or
in
something.
movies and books, though, where people are like, hey, let's remake this movie, but let's completely change what worked because it's current day to change things. And I'm not talking about even politically correct stuff. I'm saying it feels like somebody at Halo was like, hey, let's just change everything. And
Yeah,
I mean, the grapple, I was against the grapple, and it's awesome. Like, not against it, but I was like, grapple? That doesn't fit.
it doesn't make sense for
It did
Halo.
fit. It was, and Reg, you played and beat Infinite, didn't you?
No.
You didn't
I
beat
I
it?
beat Infinite.
Okay. But
It
did you
ran
like
like
the
shit on my
grapple?
PC.
Pardon me?
Did you like the grapple, Reg?
Yeah, I like the grapple.
See,
Yeah, that
so
was
like
a good
even people
mechanic.
who, let's say, aren't as big Halo fans as myself, I don't know of anybody who hated the grapple. Like
I don't know
it-
anyone either.
It worked, and it just feels like there's a lot there, but I can't tell you much about Infinite storyline anymore. It's already gone from my brain. It's like I could probably
Yeah.
play it and be surprised at a couple of the story beats and be like, "Oh, right, I forgot all about this."
There was a lot of things behind Halo Infinite story that I felt like they missed, like the random targets just walking around, got really no lore to why they're there. Like I always felt like would have been better move for them is like, the what's that Far Cry 5 system where a map was dedicated to a certain person.
Yeah.
So like do that. Like part of the map's dedicated to this general, and like you have to do things to get to him, and it's to explain what he did to help the banished win the war. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
let's move on from Halo. Do you guys feel that Gears then is their thing?
yeah, I think Gears took Halo's place.
It seems like I liked what are we on? 5?
Mhm.
Yes.
I think all of us liked 5, right? There was
5
nobody
was
who-
great.
5 was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, and great performance, man. That game, like the game was stellar in its performance for an open
It
world.
always
Oh,
the
yeah.
Gears games always look amazing and run amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
that is
Coalition,
true. That is true.
low-key-
Coalition knows the things.
Coalition low-key put the Xbox One on its back and carried it like the whole generation.
I do believe that, yeah. And also, you guys were talking about seeing the face of Master Chief. There is something about the Gears 1, Marcus and Dom, and they weren't the typical young 21, Final Fantasy. Like, it was like these dudes who look like their bones hurt. They probably have some arthritis medicine, some Bengay. Like,
Yeah.
And that dude sounded like he just gargles with rocks. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so, let's go. And you're like, yeah, he looks like his armor. He sounds like his armor. That character, those two characters mean more to me than Halo. Master Chief is more, I'm him in a weird way because you can't see his face, where those two, they're character driven a little bit more, including what they did with the story with some people.
Yeah,
dying
and 2 and the
just-
Mad World and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It hit hard. I don't think I've ever cried in a Halo game. I've never really felt like
It's
much.
not
of
that
it.
kind of game, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Gears was
That's-
designed to show you war. Like at any time
True. I mean,
something
it
can
is-
go wrong.
Yeah. Halo's high.
Halo wasn't really got
high
that. Like
sci-fi, right? Versus low.
you were literally like in Gears,
Chainsaws.
you're a real you're not a basic soldier, but you're one
a
of the
grunt.
best.
Yeah, you're one of the best grunts.
On Halo, you're an enhanced,
Yeah.
the best in the humanity soldier.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Good talk. Good talk. It seems like everybody pretty much agrees. There's some people here who actually do really like it, which that's cool too. England, keep it real. 179 super chat. COD 4 changed everything. It beat Halo 3 back in the day. I don't know what it beat Halo 3 at.
Halo 3 was huge.
I thought
was
Halo 3
massive,
was
man.
huge, but I also think Call of Duty does their thing. I think Call of Duty's AI is terrible. And the reason why I like Halo is because when we were together and you turn it on Legendary and the AI does something different
was brutal.
every
The
fucking
AI was
match.
so good
And it
right
was
from the start.
Their AI, there's a reason why it's written about at like GDCs. The AI is that good. So moving on from there, let's talk about, we were talking about free to play. Let's talk about free games. Reg, do you have your list of
Yes.
free games? Let's do this.
Yes, sir. So, free games, free for everyone. First up, Epic Game Store, Rogue Legacy, and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Oh, good.
And subscription games, Game Pass, PC has Chinatown Detective Agency.
Mm-hmm.
And next week, the Dungeon of, that's hard to read. I don't know, Naheulbeuk. Naheulbeuk. I don't know how to read that. And Life is Strange: True Colors, as well as Panzer Corps 2. Or Panzer
Oh, those
Corps
are some
2.
good games.
Game Pass for Xbox, Chinatown Detective Agency as well, Cricket 22, MLB The Show 22, and also next week, Life is Strange: True Colors for the Xbox. PlayStation Now has Journey to the Savage Planet, Outer Wilds, WRC 10 FIA World Rally Championship, and Werewolf the Apocalypse: Earthblood.
Oh, dude. AAA
that's,
game
that's
right
good
there.
lineup.
AAA Werewolf, baby.
I loved it.
I know
That
you
was a
did.
good
I,
game.
know,
I loved it,
I had
man.
fun with it. It just wasn't a great game, but it was fun. It was very
That
fun.
Journey game's fun.
Yeah.
Dude, all those games are good. Go ahead, Reg. Sorry.
PlayStation Plus has Hood, Outlaws and Legends, Slay the Spire and SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, and that's the end of the list.
Wait, I thought
Bikini
Hood
Bottom?
was free already. I thought Hood was a free game.
Yeah, I thought Hood was a free
Maybe-
game. No, I remember.
Whoa,
I
was
bought
Hood
it.
a purchase and a subscription, or was it a?
No. It was a purchase, and I refunded it
It
on
was a
Steam. I
purchase,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah, that game did not do well.
No.
That game came and went. Focus.
It had really cool ideas.
Oh, it
dude.
had
I will
awesome
give it that.
ideas, but it tried
not
to
play
do.
out.
What's the Ubisoft game?
For
Honor?
For Honor. Yeah.
Sort of tried to
Oh,
do
okay.
For Honor, but like.
It wasn't
I
satisfying.
thought Hyperscape you meant. Okay.
Oh
Right.
no! But dude, True Colors is hitting on multiple services, so that's. I mean, that game is. I love True Colors. Life is Strange, so I think like that one's good.
I need to try it.
Oh, you're such a bad person. Like in your heart, you're corrupt, dude. Have you tried them? Life is Strange at all?
I beat the first one.
What'd you think?
I played Before the Storm. First one's the best episodic game I've ever played. Like
Boom.
by far the best.
Boom. All right, cool. We're
This
friends.
I liked Before the Storm. It was good. I played like one episode of 2, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because the first one was such a high scale that
Two
I just
never
couldn't.
happened, dude. We don't talk about two.
Yeah, exactly.
2
For
were
a second
bad.
there, I thought I messed up. I'm like,
No.
was there 2? Am I mixing
No.
this
Oh,
up?
sorry, no, it's we agree with you, man.
It's not you, it's them.
So
Yes.
color's better than 2 though?
Oh,
Oh,
True
yeah.
Colors is not as good as 1, but it is right in line. Like it is completely satisfying as that. I liked Captain Underpants as Takedown takes it, the free one as well.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Captain Amazing or Incredible,
Awesome.
But dude, True Colors is very, very good. Yeah, very good. There's a lot of there's a lot of emotional content that doesn't feel like 2, where 2 tried to ram it down your throat. It's not like that at all. It's done with proper writing.
Yeah. Good writing, good characters, good setting. It's like the pillars are there.
Gaming Addict, have
Like-
you done Oxenfree?
No.
Get off.
I'm gonna have to
Get
get,
it,
get-
Connected.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
notepad and just start writing
Bro,
these games
no.
down. Like,
Come on, man. You got to check out. If you like Life is Strange, man, Oxenfree is the
I think-
fucking bomb.
well, see, Life is Strange kind of hit. Like, I think
Hit
I got it randomly the first one,
Mm.
and like I think it was the end of the second episode where they started doing like the crazy changes.
Yeah.
And I would never like. By the end of that whole season, I was like, man, that town. I don't care about the town. Like,
Right.
you ain't going nowhere. Like,
Yeah. Dude.
it was a good game. It was a great game.
Yeah. The remake was terrible, by the way. As a remake, I should say.
Mm.
There wasn't technically, how do you remake a game that it's like remaking Wind Waker? We talked about this. Like Wind Waker's art style is why Wind Waker looks good. I don't think Life is Strange needed a remake in the way they did it, which is like a little bit higher resolution. Those games are great though. There's a lot of good free games there, except for that dungeon game with the weird name. That's gonna fuck up Google searches. Its SEO is gonna suck. If you
People
can't,
trying to find that shit.
it's not gonna work.
I like Slay the Spire. That was a good game. I enjoyed
Oh,
it.
Everybody
Really
likes
good.
Slay the Spire. I've never played it, but
It's
everybody
like a
card
says
game.
that game is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You played it, Reg? Did you play Slay the Spire, Reg?
I did.
Did you? I see humor. I see a little bit of a smirk. So not as into
Oh,
it.
it came up again and already, and my lack of love for it is something that irks Johnny quite a bit.
Already
All right,
getting
let's talk-
a little irritated.
Let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
Oh, you. It's.
Yeah.
I'll just say this: as someone who plays roguelites a lot, it's in the Hall of Fame of like
Roguelike.
top 3 easily,
it's really
like
good.
ever best ever.
If it's in the
roguelite.
top there, what about roguelites?
That's what I mean.
Oh, God.
roguelites.
What about
no, we're
roguelite?
not doing that.
You didn't
No,
get
we're
it.
not doing that.
Hey, what's the difference between a roguelike and a
No.
roguelite?
Yeah, let's
I'm just
go down
joking.
that.
I'm just joking. We're never talking about that again.
Go somewhere else for that.
Go, yeah. Go somewhere else.
He just Gandalf. You ain't past you.
This is Karak looks like a Babylonian king with his beard. Admittedly, I just saw my beard. I moved my head and realized that some of the length of that is coming off.
By voluminous.
I noticed my chest was itching yesterday, and it was because I was reading a book. And I
Oh,
was
dude,
like,
that's
yeah, I didn't even realize
Life
what
hack.
it was, and I was like a bristle
Just-
pad going like. I mean, chicks dig it, but hey. So
Hey,
free games, we've got PlayStation had great games. There's MLB as well, but PlayStation had a couple good games. MLB came out, and I didn't get a chance to play it, but I also heard people saying that is actually a very good game. I don't think we have sports players though on this podcast, do we?
no.
We don't really do. Okay.
What, you dabble a bit, don't you?
I dabbled,
Do you
and I
do
have
MLB?
a copy. I just did not get a chance
just
to play it.
UFC or Fight Night is like the only sports game.
Is the
I
only
would play.
sports game. Yeah, UFC is dead, I think.
Ah,
I
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it does suck, but man, they miss. Wow.
I just miss Fight Night, dude. I want Fight Night to make a comeback.
I want Ready to
Fucking
Rumble
love
from
that
the
game.
Dreamcast to come back.
Oh my god,
Dude,
okay.
let's get ready to rumble. And they had Buffer come on. Oh, such a good game. Mars Lavo, $2 super chat. I just replayed Chronicles of Riddick. Underrated as fuck. No, it's not underrated. Bro, everybody loves
It's a
it.
good game.
We all
Yeah.
talk about it. I don't think that game's underrated. Truthfully,
Well,
Everyone
it's a
loves it,
little bit
yeah.
like Mad Max, where every time we bring it up,
everybody.
a
Yeah,
lot of
true.
people love it.
Yeah, true.
You know what I
That
mean?
that is true. Yeah.
No, it's one of the few movie games. Well, it wasn't really a movie game, I guess, but it was one
On
of
an
those
IP that
an IP,
existed.
yeah, which was really
The
really good.
Riddick one, Chronicles.
Riddick
Yeah,
and Mad
both of
Max,
them.
both of them. And Riddick succeeded in multiple ways because of its graphics.
I like
too.
that game.
With Riddick, it was bump mapping, and nobody had seen. And I remember like the devs. What was that? Light something? Oh,
Can you
who the fuck
explain
is
that real quick? What is that?
bump mapping.
Yeah.
It adds depth to a texture, makes the texture
Oh.
and geometry look thicker, almost like tessellation, but in a different way. And so bump map, it just had not been done. And when, especially Chronicles of Riddick, they were like, "Hey, look, this is sort of our thing." And it was honestly, Riddick was big then. I mean, Chronicles of Ridiculous.
Yeah, it hit
like
really
that.
big.
Yeah, it Pitch Black.
I really like
Chronicles
the
of-
movies.
So do I. And those were big, and I think and he did a good job. I think it's Starlight Studios, right? Who made that? I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
I love
What-
the movies.
Wait, what game's a game underrated in your opinion? Oh, we were saying that Chronicles of Riddick is not underrated.
And it's
what-
funny
what,
because we were
she's
talking.
asking what makes it underrated. Like, what makes a
Oh.
game underrated?
Oh, I think Myst
Oh.
or their score is weird, but scoring doesn't make. I think it's just Myst, where like,
Missed.
and people who play it maybe don't talk about it. It doesn't get into the zeitgeist for whatever reason. It's hard to know though, because like you just said, when we get on the podcast, we're like,
Yeah,
game's
but
awesome."
you know what? You're right, because at the time, it didn't get talked about a lot. Mad Max, for example.
Mad Max,
A
yeah,
lot-
sort of got
a lot of people.
beamed. You know
Yeah,
why
got
though,
beamed
Johnny?
and-
Metal Gear. Look at the
Oh.
release time frame.
Oh,
Bad
5?
idea.
5, yeah.
You don't put a
Yeah,
desert game against
right.
Metal Gear. Like how that's like what were those two games that came out by EA where they were like Titanfall and
Oh,
something
dude,
else
yeah,
Battlefield.
Titanfall 2
and Battlefield, and you're just like, dude, if I can see it and I'm not paid,
It's like no, there's totally separate fandoms and stuff. It's like there's no overlap.
there's what the fuck does that even
They are
mean?
literally both
Yeah.
shooters.
Yeah,
Let's just start
right,
with that.
right.
How about that?
Right? Yeah, that was a weird one. Kyle Sanders says the Peter Jackson King Kong game was really good. It was.
Huh?
Peter Jackson King Kong game was legit graphics
Okay.
wise. Starbreeze Studio.
Oh
Thank
my
you very
god,
much.
that was, dude. King Kong was my first ever 360 game. It was my first ever like next gen game when I bought the
Nice.
360.
Well, I think it was a release, wasn't it?
It was at release, yeah, and it was like fucking.
Oh, the
dope.
rowboats when they're rowing to the island, and I was sick as
Mm.
fuck because they were doing the thing where they're like, "Hey, look, we can move the camera," and I'm like, "Fuck you!" But
I was
did,
playing
anyway.
at 1080i interlaced, and I was
Yes.
like, God damn, what are these?
Remember when
graphics?"
you finally figured out you could turn that graphics up, and you're like, "Oh my god,
Yes.
we are now." in
You
the
go
future."
from 340 to like 1080i, and you're like, whoa, what just happened?
Did I ever
Like,
tell you the story
pixels.
of Fight Night? That's what happened to me with Fight Night. So Andy, my friend, and I went and got the 360. We get it home, and we're playing Fight Night. We're like, "Fuck, this looks awesome!" Boom, boom, boom. We're having a blast. We play for like 8 hours. He leaves. I get ready to turn it off, and I decide to move my 360, and there's this notch on the 360 wire in back, 720p and 1080.
1080i.
I
yeah.
turned to 1080. I called him up, and he came all the way back. We spent another 4 hours playing at higher resolution, and that's
Yeah.
when like the skin popped. You can see freckles on people, and you're just like, I can see cancer. Like that's turning into cancer for sure. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was with the five thing, like the colors. It was like red,
Red-
green, blue, yellow.
Yeah, RGB plus or whatever.
Plus, yeah.
The human bits of King Kong were great, but I hated playing as Kong. JD says, I don't know about any of you, but I will never play another BF game again. BF?
A Battlefield.
That's not what I thought.
What
Thinking
did you
hentai.
think?
I don't understand how they
Okay.
could.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why my brain went there. Well, I mean, I do. I don't understand how they could ruin something that was so good, dude. Companies will surprise you, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
amazing. Like if you bet, they're amazing at ruining things. I mean, games are hard to do. I mean, games are very.
I mean, most of us are.
Yeah. Mad Max 1 is talked about a lot. Yeah, let's jump to that. So Mad Max 1 and 2 are being remade by Remedy with
Max Payne.
Rockstar.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Mad Max.
Mad Max.
That just goes to show where my brain is. Okay.
I feel like I want to download it now.
So is that a big deal to you guys? Mad Max 1 and 2 being remade? Is that like a
I don't
thing?
care. I mean, bring it, dude. Hell yeah. I loved those games back in the day, and I'll play them again. I mean, at least they're making 2 games into 1 game rather than making 1 game into 3 games. So that's a plus
Oh, are
already.
they
you
doing
know?
is it a
Sorry.
that is true. That is, so they're doing what? They're doing one
One
Into-
game for
in a
both of them.
package. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Mad Max, guys, I just played Mad Max a while
Max
ago.
Payne.
I just played Max Payne a while ago. It's pretty crunchy control-wise, so I would love to see them step that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be stuck on Mad Max.
The atmosphere was dope. I think it was I think
Crying
it was a class
babies
game,
in the
man.
cutscenes. Do you
Yeah,
guys
shit
remember
was
those
weird, man.
psychedelic cutscenes?
Oh, yeah.
Tunnel?
Thing.
I
You're
want to see
running
what
on
they
the
do with the
dream.
face, dude. I want to see what they do with his face because
Here's-
he has a
Absy, wouldn't it be amazing if we could push a button like Halo and switch
Yes.
between the graphics?
yes.
Of the old Max Payne where he's like, where he's got to poop.
Yeah, that was sick, dude.
Did I say
yeah,
Max
I think
Payne? I did. I said
You
Max
did
Payne.
this time. Congrats.
Kevin says the wrong game, right game. Congrats.
What do you guys think of? So Mad Max 3 is not announced in this. Is
Max
there a reason?
Payne.
Isn't that the fan favorite? Because I never played
Are
them.
you fucking kidding me? This is what happens, and it'll be stuck in my head. Max Payne 3 was not mentioned in this, and I was going to ask: is there a development thing there? Was it a different company? Because I for Mad.
Was it
Max
Remedy?
Payne
I don't think it was Remedy for
He almost
3.
said it again.
I did. I don't think it was. I think it was anybody in chat was Max Payne 3 a different company? I think it was. And so are we going to get a Batman Origins where it never sees the light of day kind of thing as a remake? Is that what
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What,
I don't
did
know
I
because
fuck
Max
up
Payne
again?
3
Or
is
you
so
left?
like.
It was different companies.
was?
If you want to talk about
I-
underrated games, I think Max Payne 3 was there, right? Or people now love it a lot and look back and it's. I mean, it was a really good game.
Rockstar made Max Payne 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Isn't
I
that
see.
the fan favorite though?
see.
Like I didn't play them, but I hear that's the fan favorite.
No, I mean it's good, but I thought 1 was
Yeah, one
ahead
like
of
1
its
and 2
time.
were the the people always talk about them.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm gonna give them
to
a
see
try when they come out.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not like a lot of people who would be like, I want to,
Well,
only brand new games."
actually-
Whatever.
Actually, it's funny you mention it because I watched a friend play through Max Payne recently, and
1, 2,
I
or 3.
found a lot. I think it was 1.
Okay.
So it's crusty, right? It's old, but
Mm.
I saw a lot in it that definitely inspired current games. We
for
talked
sure.
about the bullet time stuff, but
Noir
yeah, it's-
storytelling sort of
Yeah.
I mean,
branched
it's
out.
one of the first third-person shooters out there,
and well
anyways.
done. I think this bullet time helped it because
Yeah.
back then
Oh, yeah.
control wasn't
yeah.
as good. So like being able to do
Yeah,
bullet
it was
time helped.
trash. Yeah, absolutely.
you know what's ridiculous? The amount of weapons you can carry in that game. There's a panel up top with like 12 different weapons that you're carrying at all times.
That's like GTA,
all,
right?
yeah, all the old games, man. That's just
Yeah,
those old games
beautiful.
prior to Halo, because Halo was one of the first ones to be like you have your primary, secondary.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited
huge
for
weapon
it.
wheel. Yeah, same.
Let's see. Rogerio says it wasn't one of the first person. It wasn't one of the first third-person shooters. It's one of the first with that bullet time thing.
What third-person? I'm not.
Well, I
gonna
mean,
look into
I'm sure
dates,
there's
I don't know.
other. I don't think he was saying it was the brand new first, never been done before.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
one of the.
Just
I don't know.
very
put it on the map or
influential,
some shit.
for
Kyle
sure.
Sanders says everyone knows Alpha Protocol is the best game ever invented. I mean, Alpha Protocol was sweet as hell, but boy, it was a buggy ass
Alpha-
game.
I want that. That's what I want them to remake, dude. Because that game had a lot.
Alpha
going for it.
Protocol,
Yeah.
way ahead of its time. I don't think
Mhm.
any game has ever come close to telling a story in a shooter like that ever.
Oh,
like not
really?
even. Then Alpha Protocol was
Yeah.
like BioWare style
Social
choices
engineering.
in a
fucking-
shooter. It was ridiculous, man.
No, but it was choices in a really smart way. Like it's not like whatever you think. Oh, I'm just gonna be a good or bad guy. It was like social engineering. Like tell him what you think he'd want to hear. You can backstab people.
Yeah,
Like,
and
there's a
going
lot
into
of
your little shop and putting different disguises on. That
gadgets
game
and shit.
was- that game was good. What else we got? Oh, by the way, over 2,500 shirts have been sold. So, if you're watching and you don't have one of the shirts, you're a bad person. You should go Teespring, ACG, buy yourself a shirt. Buy it for a family member. Just make sure if it's like America, buy a XXX. You're probably going to need it because we're fat. I just saw that America now is like not only the most obese country, but the most messed up in its sizing because of the obesity, because they don't want people to feel bad. So they'll be like extra large, and you put it on, you're like, it's
like you buy a medium and it's a XXX here.
Unless you go to Walmart, though, bro. You'll buy an extra large at Walmart. That thing is a circus tent. Like, it is so weird that Walmart sizes are sort of right in a weird way, for us at least. People show, what's up, buddy? Give me Kung Fu Chaos 2. Okay, I have a question for you guys. Who knows Kung Fu Chaos besides me? Okay.
No, sadly.
Kung Fu Chaos was a third-person kung fu fighter, but it was very racist in today's standards.
Right.
If that makes sense. A lot of joking, a lot of stuff I grew up loving, not knowing, that people were going to hate it. I don't think it could work. I just don't see
Bully,
it.
right?
Yeah, like Bully, where they're going to have to change a lot to get it to work. Kung Fu Chaos was, dude, I mean, you have the
like stereotypes and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff that right now, even if it's not at all aimed at like bad, it's considered that now.
Yeah.
Some games that can't be. Sleeping Dogs 2, somebody was saying, I think Sleeping Dogs could be made. But I think
we see it in
can't.
TV shows as well when they recreate periods that are older, and they're saying like Chinaman and this type of terminology,
and
where today people go like, yikes.
I like Bridgerton, of all things. Do you guys know what that is?
Yep.
So I was watching Bridgerton, and they've changed everything. It's completely unrealistic in its setups, and it's the Queen is black, which is fine with me. But I mean, like, they've changed everything, and I think that's what you'd have to do to be. I think right now, to release some of these games, you'd have to really. You couldn't call it Kung Fu Chaos either. You'd have to call it.
Would it lose something in the process? Like, was that a part of its?
Kung Fu Chaos was pretty, because it was like, there was a thing called Kung Fu Matinee in America. It was on the USA Channel every Sunday, and it would play bad dubbed Kung Fu movies. Poorly dubbed on purpose. So it'd be like, my sword says goodbye to you, which means I'm going to kill you with my sword. I mean, it was that bad. It was like you and I translating what we thought was being said. And a lot of, fake, even in the dubs, the dubs were, a lot of sing-song style, So it was pretty unacceptable. Yeah. I would still buy it because I don't think that actually means an aggressive hatred, but
right now. But even you today, you would be like, yikes.
Dude, I was watching Miami Vice. Vice. I love Miami Vice, the TV show. And I had forgot, and I turned it on, and that show is so bad, man. And it's bad. I mean, the first, they're dropping crazy words in that show, and I'm just like, and the teasing each other if they are gay or whatever is really aggressive.
Yeah, dude, I watched
stuff.
Ace Ventura recently, and it got super transphobic. It got super transphobic.
Oh, it does, because Sean Williams, the actress, doesn't she have a dong in number 2? That's the surprise.
It got uncomfortable. It got really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it got really uncomfortable.
Okay, it's like that humor that ain't been around a long time, and you just randomly hear it.
Yeah, and you're like, what?
I'm like, God damn, how did that shit fly?
A lot of those games would be difficult to I mean, a lot of games that we grew up on, I think, would need an adjustment.
Yeah, because some stuff really hasn't aged well.
For a good reason, I will say that.
Or a good reason.
Like the trans stuff, like the issue was that those characters were only ever portrayed
as bad guys.
In as a funny way, like making fun of them, or like someone who's funny. You never saw a normal person who happens to be trans,
dude,
right? It was always
Johnny,
something
you need
ridiculous.
to watch this movie, because do you know what The Crying Game is? The Oscar-winning movie. So this Oscar-winning movie called The Crying Game is about a guy dating a girl who turns out to be a guy, right? And there's a scene in it where it's called The Crying Game because there's a scene in it where the person's in the shower crying over the affair and realizing what it is. And in Ace Ventura 2, that there's a scene that mimics The Crying Game, but it mimics it in that really aggressive way.
Right.
Like there's just, some of that stuff you just wouldn't be able to do. I would like to see them try, but I just don't know how you would get away with some of that stuff, and it would be some of it's way too aggressive, like just really mean-spirited. You don't think about it when you're, I mean, I didn't. I know people will say, like, as children, we should know, and I'm like,
no, we shouldn't.
Yeah, and it's very easy to poo-poo people with, oh, you're
Years
a snowflake.
later.
But some stuff, I mean,
some
like
stuff,
right now,
yeah.
but some stuff we have learned better. We have learned
Yeah, we
that,
grew
you
as
know,
a
some
society.
stuff
yeah, we grew up
is
as a society.
actually-
Exactly.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's-
like some stuff is actually gonna hurt people, and it's like
Yeah.
unnecessary.
Here's what
And
we
you gotta-
really need, though. We need Hulk Hogan to come back and make a sequel to his smash hit movie. What were you going to say?
And you got to realize too, like the movie industry and stuff like that, like that's not like really old, like that's
No.
relatively soon. So you would have a period of time like 50, 60 years where like we as society is learning, maybe that ain't the right move. Like, because it'd be different if we was like 50, 60 years from now and it's been around, but it ain't been around that long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it and with games, because games are even shorter, right? You only have a decade where you have a decade and a half maybe where games have truly been able to show not realistic looking characters, but like characters where you can really even tell what they are. I mean, because I played Indiana Jones and the manual it told you who you were because the graphics were so bad. It was like, you are the guy with the white dot on his head. Like, that's how bad the graphics were. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a couple more years, but it's been cool to see all of these things change. Cobra Kai is pretty non-PC for the times. I haven't watched that. Have you guys?
actually, I started that.
I started
It's
it
good.
in
It's
a,
very
in a
good.
plane. I was watching it in an airplane and then never really.
I haven't watched it. Johnny,
was
did you
enjoying
watch
it.
it? Cobra Kai, which is the TV show sequel to the
No, not yet.
Reg?
No, I have not.
Okay. What's your problem? Do you guys not like karate movies?
Just bad
What
people.
the fuck is
What's
your
going on?
problem?
You're watching
I think-
Bridgerton, but you won't watch Cobra Kai. I'm just saying.
No, I only saw like one episode of it. I didn't really like it.
Of what?
Didn't stick. Bridgerton.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I can see.
What I like about they did a Cobra Kai is like things make sense why it goes. Like they did a good job taking that old content, because I feel like a lot of the times when they remake or do these like sequels 10, 15 years later,
It doesn't
they
make
just drop
sense.
the ball.
Yeah,
Like just
yeah.
drop the ball. Like this, it makes sense how things go. It makes sense that this is the past, this is the present, but I can understand how they got to this part from the middle.
And how two dudes who weren't really alphas but pretended to be alphas aren't alphas anymore. Like you always meet that guy who was good in high school football, and
And
he's
his
still at
time
the
is
bar
past.
20, and his time is past, and he's still talking about glory days, like some type of 1990s music video.
Yeah.
What else do we got? What else do we got to talk about?
E3 got canceled. Unreal 5.
E3
What- what
got
do you want to say?
canceled. Do you guys give a shit?
Nah.
I did to a point.
You did
because
to a point.
I
Some
mean,
of
it's the
my-
end of an era, I guess. But
It is, but like I guess like some of my best like memories of like going with like the Iron Lords. Like that was like
Yeah.
our thing where we came together. Like sure, we're going to PAX this month now, but it's just like that E3 moment where like we my first Microsoft press conference. Like I didn't think that it's a necessary thing, but as a gamer, I felt like if you had the opportunity to at least go to one, you should take it. But obviously, you don't have that opportunity anymore. I'm pretty sure. I think that's pretty much done.
And Reg
so.
goes to the big one, the European Petri dish.
I did
What's that one called?
twice. That's
Gamescom?
enough.
Gamescom.
Gamescom.
Oh, you're not
German
going
one.
ever again?
no,
I mean, I think at first, so they went digital, right? So that already eliminated the, you going with people there. And then
Well, they went digital for that year. They
for
were
that
supposed
year,
to go
at
back.
least, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if were they? Okay. But I mean, you see a lot of companies now doing their own thing. They just upload videos on YouTube and that's it. They're like, okay, I'm gonna do this state of play shit. I'm gonna do this shit. I'm gonna, there's no. I feel like there's less need of a central place. I guess it might be a waste of money for people, because they can just do their own shit.
No.
Plus, the Game Awards I think have been better.
Game Awards but Game Awards is only 2 hours. Where
Right.
E3 was multiple days. PAX is still there, which is cool. It's great to see people. Some of my favorite people I know now are people I met at PAX. But, I mean, Dude, it's pretty nice when you can pick and choose and you can cover, you know, these companies are releasing a trailer that everybody can talk about versus fighting to stand in line and then finding out the game sucked. Because there's quite a few games like a PAX I would go to or GDC, and you'd be like, stand in line for 4 hours. Even if I got ahead, you know, because some people, you know, some places you'd get ahead of others, which then it pissed them off because the poor person's standing in line. You're an influencer. And they're like, come on in. You go in,
felt bad.
and then you see it, and you're like, oh, I waited 2 hours for this. And these saps are waiting 6 hours. So
But then
Plus,
you
there was a
low-key
lot of
want to say,
padding.
you low-key want to say something, leave and be like, yo, just go eat. You don't kind of
No,
watch it.
I did. There were 2 games where I walked out and I was like, somebody was like, ACG, is that a good game? Run.
I think even watching from home, like there was just a lot of padding with like bullshit that, you know, I just didn't care about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's still the end of an era, right?
It is. And I like that it occurs. It's just that it doesn't personally, it doesn't stop me from going or not going because I was not going to. I don't want it to be, I mean, if people want to do it, that's great. Companies can get together. I'm just saying, I personally, it doesn't really have an effect.
It seems to me like it was a central place for like personalities in the gaming media space, whether you're a reviewer or journalist.
Here's the thing, right,
whatever.
Johnny? But that's what's sort of
Networking.
cool. That's what's sort of cool is if you run your channel, right?
Yeah.
Your content is what's going to matter, not that you got in line to get content.
True.
That a video that nobody else got, or I sort of dig that part. That it's just a blurb, and everybody can then do a video. Let's say they can stream it, they can do a video later, grab what they like.
Yeah.
But I agree.
It opens
creator
new
dream.
possibilities.
It does.
like
It does.
that.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
E3 was a content creator dream, that's for sure. Like,
It was, and I got to tell you, man, it was also a nightmare. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
You're up at
Yeah,
3
too.
a.m. in a stinky hotel room next to a guy whose balls smell like Famunda cheese, and you're trying
No,
to
I'm
do
not
a
even-
fucking, video.
Bro.
I wasn't even talking like from an aspect of like
Oh,
going to it.
all right.
I was talking like even
All
sitting
right.
at home being a content creator. Like that is my most hit videos on YouTube is always around E3 because I feel like that is when the gamers are on YouTube the most. Like,
Yeah.
Well, there's one other thing I was gonna
Karak
say.
uses this platform to shout politics all the time. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
wow.
this,
What I'm
the,
doing.
Oh,
this
yeah, just
guy's
all
been
the time.
bitching all
Just
on-
That's what I'm known for.
You guys are
But-
woke. COVID's a hoax. Shut the fuck up. Shut the
Um,
fuck up.
But no, I mean, if you look at it, people are they're still going to do something, right? At some point,
something's going to replace it.
something to replace it. Then you got PAX that'll replace, people be able to
Okay.
go do PAX. So it's like, PAX is fun. PAX is different though. PAX is like, maybe if we were all going, I could say, hey, let's all meet up, and it wouldn't be maybe so stressful to cover a particular game, but more enjoyable to meet you guys, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a reason. Like if you're going to see it and I'm going, might as well hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, as
let's
long
see.
as still there are still opportunities to
There
do
will
that
be.
stuff.
There will
that,
be.
You know,
Reg
that's
is gonna
fine.
blow up his channel this next E3.
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
year, when it
Yes.
finally comes, he's gonna
Yeah,
be back in the
Gonna
stream.
go
Sudden,
networking.
Unexpected return in grand style.
That would
But
be amazing if you did do that, just out of the blue. You were like, just dropping hot facts on people.
Yep.
Let's
Just
see.
an
But I wanted to
exclusive.
bring up
Oh yeah.
I wanted to bring up something else, which is how much pressure do you think there was for devs to come up with like a demo or something for
Absurd
E3,
amounts of pressure.
right?
Mhm.
Because you would, and without that, you would think that maybe there are better opportunities for them to focus on their game instead of oh, there's E3 coming up, we need to come up with a
Money,
vertical
too.
or a
It's not just the pressure; it's the cash. Like Baczynski was saying, it was $100,000 to do a vertical
investors.
slice for E3. $100,000 out of your
wow.
budget.
Easy.
Now, it easy, and then you also have to pay for space, and
Yeah.
and that's not cheap.
space.
Yeah, it's not
No,
cheap at all.
Yeah, and then it's cool if you want to go, but it's there's so many games now. Like that's another thing. E3, they'll announce. Let's say they announce 500 games at E3. 100 will be delayed minimum, if not more. Another 100 are early access. Another 100 are free to play. And another 100 will
Well,
probably
I
have
mean-
NFTs. So of those 500, I think I got to 400. Hopefully I didn't get to 500. But of those 500, only 100 will I really want to cover. And I can do that from home. What were you
Also,
going to say, Reg?
the way I remember E3 presentations always was with 80% of the games we never actually saw released.
Yeah,
Or
true that.
released like 5 years down the line.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to E3, I think the ESA, I think that's what the organization was called, felt like at that point in the end, they felt like they were bigger than the industry, than all the people that they invite over.
Sure.
And, you know, the way I was described, it was like there was a lot of internal fighting over if they're going to do this, if they're going to do that. And I think the pandemic just sped it up, because I feel like this was going to happen eventually, but the pandemic was like, let's just do it now.
Yeah, I mean, pandemic sped a lot of things up. The decay of multiple things, the pushing of working from home for companies that didn't need to work collectively. So it pushed a lot of things forward. Somebody asked me if I saw their super chat, their second one. I don't see that, bro. Sorry. Let's talk about game updates, though.
Okay.
Abzi, you've got how many? Couple, 3, 4?
A bunch.
More? Okay.
First one's Total War Warhammer 3 got patch 1.1. They had a lot of bug fixes and a bunch of like gameplay and balancing changes. I don't personally play it. Silver's not here, but they changed like some rewards you get for certain things you do, and some more choice and how you approach things. And you know, I'm not really well versed in that game, but it looked like there was a lot there if you want to check it out. Age of Empires 4 got a huge update, season 1 update, with a bunch of balance changes, like a huge list of like changing damage and queue times and like a bunch of stuff and bug fixes. But they also added the content editor, which if you're like me in Age of Empires 2, you spent most of your time in the map editor.
Yeah.
And they basically added it here. It's in beta yet, still, but they're adding it for this update.
Okay.
Ranked
Such a good
season
game.
1. Yeah. Yep. Agree. Ranked season 1 starts April 13th. And the global build queue is like, they added this thing where you can just click a button and see an overview of all your upgrades and like your units in queue at all times. Some quality of life. Improved hotkeys. New Art of War challenge with advanced combat, so like a challenge mode or something versus AI. More like they tuned difficulty in campaigns. Some were too hard, some were too easy. And this is my favorite one. So they had a bunch of map changes, but they added a new map called Mega Random, which is really fucking cool. So Mega Random has the ability to spawn in a bunch of different like configurations. So a whole bunch of like random parameters, such as whether to spawn lakes or rivers, which types of impasse to use to generate terrain, whether to spawn extra amounts of some resource, or you know, whether to incorporate special terrain patterns, and like a bunch more. So it's basically a random map generator, and every time it's like something new, which is fucking cool. RimWorld got an update for Steam Deck. A bunch of improvements, UI fixes to better fit the Steam Deck, you know, better use of touchscreen to do a bunch of things in the game, and a bunch of technical fixes so it runs better on the Steam Deck, which is cool. And Phasmophobia got a huge VR update. Like they overhauled a lot of stuff in their VR, like a whole new VR system, like a much better performance, smoother interaction. You can do different things with your hands and hold things differently, and a bunch of bug fixes as well, which is cool because VR in that game is pretty sick. And with gameplay changes, they changed like how hiding spots work, and the more difficult it is, the less hiding spots there are or something. And a bunch of quality of life and graphics updates and bug fixes. And that's all. Yeah.
Right. To the Warhammer 3 one, I wanted to add something I, despite not playing the game, saw mentioned, is that they also enabled workshop support, Steam Workshop support with the patch.
Good.
Nice. Yeah.
Do you guys
they also added like modding stuff for Age of Empires.
Do you guys ever do that sometimes, where you're like excited about a game and you're not even thinking about mods, but then you realize it doesn't have a workshop tab and you're like, I mean, I'll still get a game for sure, but there's been a couple times now where I'll be like, oh, maybe they got, you know, new ships or something, and there's no workshop. Damn, missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we got? Silver was going to do indie game. but it didn't. He was talking about another game I was talking about, but it didn't sound like that was his indie game. So I don't really have a update for whatever game it was going to be. Did he say?
Yeah, you have your own one though, right? He didn't say, but you
no,
have.
I
your...
just said. Oh, I was joking when I said game of the month.
Oh,
the Chinatown,
okay.
the point and
Right,
click. I
okay.
really want to play it. Is all. I should have said
Okay.
excitement of the month. I just really like the idea of it. I love private detectives. I'm
So
just
what is
such a
it really?
sucker for it's a
Like-
point and
like-
click private detective game.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm into. But I did see some people saying there were some technical issues with it. There was people
In
in
a
our
point and
Discord.
click game. Interesting.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, didn't Thimbleweed Park have a couple, like you could get into a loop or something narrative, so there's that kind of stuff can
some
happen.
logic loops.
Yeah, there's a couple
broken
logic loops,
quests
but I
and
think
stuff.
with this
Yeah,
one
that
there might have been
happens.
performance stuff. Anybody in chat, if you played this, feel free.
Is it out already, Karak?
That one is out. Yeah.
Fakuda says played Black Sad Karak. No, but I believe Reg did. Black Sad, the
Yes,
Was that the
cat
cat?
detective?
Detective
yeah,
cat?
that was the pretty good one.
There was a weird game. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like it kind of like you look at a phone and it would be about like something happened to someone and you
Yeah.
had their phone.
Yes, that's Silver's talked about this game multiple times.
Another lost phone, that stuff, or something else.
Yeah, something like
It starts
that.
with an S. It starts with an S, but it's creepy. Like
Simulcra,
yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause
You'll
that's the one
get
he
to like
brought up.
certain parts of the phone that was locked and like but the acting on it's just crazy. Like it bothers me, man. Like,
So I want to bring this up. The People Show says, any new news about Midnight Suns? That is such an interesting question. I actually have been investigating Midnight Suns for a couple days, trying to figure out where that is. Once it got delayed, man, news died.
What's Midnight Suns?
Midnight Suns
it's
is
that
the X-Men
developer.
XCOM.
Yeah,
It's like Wolverine and XCOM.
and it's card focused too.
It's
Oh, that's
it's
cool as
all
shit.
kind. Yeah. Oh, dude, and it looked cool, but it got delayed, and it's so weird timing. Unless maybe something triggered me online, like news wise, and maybe that's what you saw too. But that is weird because I just looked that up. I'm actually excited to check it out. I like the idea of XCOM games. We don't get very many, which is weird to me. I mean, you get
True.
what's the cell shaded Dark Age Viking. Wintry did the there's three Banner Saga.
Banner Saga.
You
Those
got
are good.
and those are good for sure. But I would like to see a lot more. I think XCOM games are like, if they're
They pop
done
off
well,
every time. Yeah.
if they're done well, there's a lot there. Like for
Gears
example,
Tactics was awesome.
right? But I mean, oh yeah, Gears Tactics was
Yeah.
awesome. I was just gonna say that X-Men.
Phoenix Point. That's another fun
X-Men is a perfect thing. I would never have expected that, and so I'm actually quite interested in seeing. If it turns out.
I'm excited for it, but at the same time, I'm like, man, where's my XCOM 3?
Well, it's not the same dev though, is it?
It's the same dev, but not the same team.
Okay,
Oh,
so
They
I
have
mean,
another
okay.
team making it.
You know what I
they,
would like to
I
see-
didn't play the Chimera one. The last one I played was War
was
of the
good.
Chosen.
I like
Chimera was
I
good.
like Chimera or Chimera is
It's
how we pronounce
Chimera,
it, but
yeah.
I,
Chimera.
Chimera.
yeah, I
Chimera.
like that
Chimera.
game a lot. You know, chimichangas, fried burritos. I really liked that game. A lot of people weren't fans of it, but I loved the.
I think it's because they took some of the essence of XCOM out of it, but
yeah,
like I feel like the core was still there. Because it wasn't designed to be an XCOM game.
No.
I feel like it was designed to be
well.
a connection between XCOM 3 and XCOM 2.
yeah. What I liked
Okay.
is when you broke into your locations, you actually got to
The breaking
choose
things.
like what
This is a
windows
great
they
game,
busted
man.
in, and if you busted in behind enemies, you got pluses. I thought that was like.
I just
SWAT
love, dude, like
in a way, like
I
a
lo-
SWAT kind of game.
Oh yeah, I love like just War of the Chosen, just your butthole being clenched the whole time, like fucking 20 different things happening.
Of what game?
It's like War of the Chosen, XCOM 2, where it's like, okay, these guys are gonna fuck you up in like 10 days, and these guys are gonna
Dude,
fucking die. And
War of the
and-
Chosen is one of the best sequels, or what is that? That's
So
not a
good.
sequel. What would that be?
DLC
An expansion?
Expansion.
Because it was
Yeah.
also that game is just
it's insane, dude. Just the
What's
amount of stress you feel, and it's like,
and a
I
good
love it.
story, and they didn't change
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff. They were just like,
Yeah.
here's the continuation.
It fits
of...
so well with the game
Oh,
that
dude.
Oh yeah,
it's like to think of XCOM 2 without that.
without it is
it's-
it's
right?
like it's missing
It's-
something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, if somebody says XCOM 2 in my brain, I'm actually
I think-
thinking of Chosen.
War of
Yeah.
the Chosen, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What were you
Yeah.
gonna say, Gaming Addict? I think I talked over
it's like It's like the original one where you come out with the original XCOM, and then like the one for the 360, not the original one from the 90s, but then you get the Enemy Within.
Mhm.
And then you get XCOM 2, and then you get War of the Chosen. Like I feel like those games aren't appreciated enough. Like I don't know why. Like I really feel like that.
I think because they're not flashy.
Yeah,
An
that's probably
RTS
true.
can be flashy in the way that you can say, look how many people we have on screen.
Yeah, and explosions
right?
and shit. Yeah.
Explosions and Warhammer. That's crazy. Like I'm impressed when I see those Total War games. When I see like Skaven going out, I'm just like, damn, son, that's impressive.
Gears Tactics was a nice looking game.
Gears
too.
Tactics was nice,
yeah.
but when you stop
wasn't
and
as good
pop
as
like
XCOM.
that, or scoot and shoot, as I called in that game, when you're doing that, it does stop you, and then they're not really doing anything. And I think that it's a little harder to sell that to like the graphics whores, which I am. Like I love good graphics, so it's a little harder to sell those and then to talk about them later. Strategy fans talk about them, but I don't think a lot of other people do. I think it sort of dies out. Great game though, and that was cheap, right? Wasn't War of the Chosen only?
I think it was
$30.
I thought it was only 30 or 40.
30
yeah,
or 40.
30 or 40.
Yeah.
so worth
That's
it.
why
Yeah.
like my love for those type of games originated from like Final Fantasy Tactics. Then I went to like
Right.
the gun version of it with XCOM, and that's how I ended up playing Triangle Strategy like 15
started,
years later.
I started with UFO back in the day.
So did I.
UFO.
Because those,
Yeah.
okay,
Good
so
game.
correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there like XCOM games, and then the company split off and did Above, or they did like there was another company releasing ones that were just like those, and I swear to God, it was like their IP, but it wasn't them.
I thought it was like UFO became XCOM or something.
Or
they
something like
split
that,
off.
yeah. And then it's merged back into a thing. But there were a couple of those older ones that went really, because remember there was the one where they were underwater. The aliens were underwater.
Yeah, XCOM 2.
Is that it? No.
It's
Wait,
like
really?
War of the Sea Phone or something like that. I don't know. I have them on Steam. Let me tell you exactly what their names are.
Yeah, please do. Hey, let's actually have some facts.
True.
No.
Well, I'm pretty sure that it was the one that
That's
came
another
after
one.
the Interceptor. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, there's a lot. Go ahead.
So XCOM UFO Defense, Terror from the Deep.
Terror from the Deep.
That's what it
the
was
one I'm
called. That's
talking
what it
about.
was called.
Yeah. Cthulhu. Continue.
I always have a problem if I always just put a number after every one of them. It's like this, then the order it came out.
Yeah,
that makes
even
sense.
though, right? Yeah, you'll be like, what about
Apocalypse.
XCOM 11? No people, what?
XCOM Apocalypse, XCOM Interceptor, Enforcer, and then obviously the new ones.
Phantom Doctrine I didn't like as much as everybody else, and I hated the duck one.
No.
The duck one was not
Oh,
good.
Mutant Zero.
it was-
Zero. I liked Mutant Year
Oh,
Zero.
come on, dude.
I liked it, man.
I think
liked
it was
All right,
too difficult for the sake of being difficult.
It was. But
Yeah.
regardless, I was going to say, I'm happy that companies are trying other stuff. In fact,
Yeah,
Mutant
I
for
think
Year
that's
Zero's
why I liked it so
world
much.
and IP is awesome. It was just, that game was, I remember Nor, I think, was in our Discord going, this game is, because I reviewed it, I think, and I was like, dude, the difficulty's all over the place. And he was like, I'll get it anyway. And he was like, what is happening? This game is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, they
I
bite
liked
off
the
on
new
that.
approach they did. I think that's what I liked it the most. Like
'Cause
it
that
was a new
real
approach.
time and
That's what I liked about it.
It's just that when something has the ability to just one shot you out of nowhere because of percentages, it causes me just to save scum and nothing else.
Jason Abbott says,
it's-
was the Bureau the start of XCOM games? No, but I like the
No.
Bureau. I got a lot of shit for liking the Bureau.
Wasn't that
I
the
enjoyed it.
that was the one for the
Third-person shooter.
360? Yeah, the
Mhm.
third person shooter.
I like the fiction
actually
behind
wouldn't-
the scene. I really enjoyed that game.
I wouldn't mind if they did that again,
Me neither.
but they made it to where like you have the planning stages like normal XCOM, but you're actually on the ground fighting the battles that
Oh,
you're
true.
doing.
Yeah, I feel like there is a game like that.
I was gonna say it's that Warhammer game, right? Wasn't it a Warhammer game?
Where
Where
you-
it was turn based, but the view was like over the shoulder.
Over the
third
shoulder.
person.
Oh, yeah, there were a couple Warhammer games, especially older ones that were somewhat mixed.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
mean,
that's
Mario-
Gene
Mario
Stealer
Rapid.
on the Saturn was no, that was not first person. It just moved in grids. That's
No,
another.
the one
thing.
I'm talking about is fairly recent, maybe a year old or something.
Oh, there's a lot of Warhammer games, guys.
Oh
Like,
yeah. And
If you look up
I'm not
Warhammer in
100%
Steam,
sure
there's a
the
lot
name,
of Warhammer games.
but yeah.
Let's see. Don't save scum, Absy. You're being told
Yeah,
by
don't save
chat.
scum.
Don't.
Yeah, it's a weird. It's
Wasn't
like
there
so
a gun called
tempting.
Scum?
I mean, what is save scumming? Just hitting save
No,
before
no,
every
so-
move?
Yeah, so I'm fine with like, you know, I save a lot or whatever, but when you do the thing where it's like, okay, you have like a 60% chance to kill someone, and every time you fail, you reload until you get that.
Well, let's ask.
yeah,
let's
that's
ask
kinda-
Reg. Lost Ark has the 5% chance of updating a weapon when you get higher. Would you save scum
When you
that?
get high enough, yeah. Mhm.
Would you save scum that if you had the ability?
For sure.
Yeah.
5% really
Don't get
low.
so
though.
Dude, it's really low. He
I
was
feel like
telling
you
me
might
about
sit
this
there
game.
for hours trying to save Scum that.
Right now, I'm at, I think, 20% chance or 20%.
That's a little bit
chance.
better. That's a little bit better.
Well,
imagine
it doesn't feel
imagine
like 20%.
imagine doing a save Scum on a 5% chance of doing something.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
just
just
tell
have to
people,
literally
It
keep
doesn't sound
reloading
like a
over
lot.
and over.
but if you take the 20%, it doesn't sound like a lot. But if I said there's 20% chance your parachute won't open when you leap out the plane, suddenly
Yeah.
20 is huge.
Yeah, the thing is, it's
Also,
a daily.
depends on
it's
how
a
much- and he put-
20%.
Go ahead.
It's
Sorry.
a 20% chance, and if you do your dailies, you can try twice.
Hey,
So
man,
it's like
if they give you 100 M&Ms and tell you that one of them is gonna kill you,
That's what I was
that's a
about to say.
massive
No,
fucking
that's-
number.
If it was Starburst, I'd eat the fuckers. I'd eat the poison one. Rob Dog says, "Hey guys, first time managing to catch you live. Thanks for keeping me entertained." Yeah, you bet, man. And sorry, we're bouncing all over the place, but this is sort of the way the podcast is.
I do
that's
want
the
to play
best type of
Man.
podcast, though.
Yeah.
I do want to play an Iron Man like campaign in XCOM though. You reminded me. I
So
do need to
I
do
like
that.
those. It's just
I
I
don't-
named all my guys after us in the Discord, and they all
Yeah.
got
And
roasted.
we all died.
And it was like
The only
they got roasted pretty quick, and so pretty soon I was naming him like Sniper Number 7 because
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Iron Man can be rough in those games. I mean, I'm sure there's people here who are going to say
Yeah,
they beat it.
especially because they're
I-
technically
There's a
unstable
chance.
sometimes. Well, also sometimes bugs like
Oh,
XCOM
I'm not talking
2.
about. Yeah, of course, I wouldn't hold that against him. I'm talking about when they say there's 99% chance, and you're right
Oh,
up against
no,
the guy's
yeah,
head.
I'm
when
with
the
you.
laser
Oh, yeah.
shoots into the sky.
Oh,
and
dude,
you're like,
Fuck that. Fuck
get out of
you.
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
That whenever anything's 90%, almost don't want to see the percentage because then I
Yeah.
second guess the game. I'm like, is this loaded?
Well, that's the thing. When it's 80%, I'm more confident than when it's like 95%.
Oh, yeah, that's
Actually-
exactly right. If it gets too high, you start second guessing the chance. You're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like there's
You
something
go like, really, is it 90%?
That's why I really liked Phoenix Point, because they gave you like a barrel
Yeah,
where if you got them both in both the barrels, it was a guaranteed shot.
yeah. There was stuff to like about that game, especially when you could turn it off. What else do we got? I'm just joking. It wasn't that bad.
Got Unreal 5.
Oh, Unreal 5. So, Reg and I, and Absy talked about this a little bit, but so Unreal 5, a lot of companies, Coalition came forward, Tomb Raider came forward. I did a video, if you guys are wondering. You know, I'm personally excited that people are going to. I mean, you get Telltale Games. Did you guys see their shit about their old engines? Where like people are quitting because they had to work on that old engine. And so if people can't do, and the one guy saying that it took him 5 hours to do an animation that should take like 6
Holy
minutes.
shit.
So to me, this is all positive. I mean,
I think it's gonna change. Like, I think it's a really fucking cool, the technological shit they have going on there. I researched it. It's just fucking even the UI looks way better.
and Reg was talking about a people maker or something. I don't know what were you talking about
Yeah,
there?
meta-human creator.
Meta-human.
Oh,
That thing
okay.
is called.
Yeah.
It's basically like a character creator in a game, and you just drag and drop whatever
And then
you
you
want
can put them in your world.
in your world. Yeah,
It's nice. See, innovations like that, we're gonna see a lot like really nice indie games too. So
I think the biggest game changer is Lumen and Nanite, I think it's called. It's Lumen is basically like dynamic global illumination, so that you don't
Like
have
lighting?
to. Yeah, so people usually they do this thing called baked lighting, where it's like static lighting, and then they copy that texture, and then they just place it in the world. So that's like baked lighting. But with this like Lumen, it's real-time global illumination without using ray tracing.
So does that include shadows too?
Yes, shadows and the way lights bounce off everything. And then
Okay.
you got Nanite, which is dynamic level of detail without having to do level of detail. Like it's like the polygons as you zoom out just become less and less as you zoom in, and it's just in there, but obviously in static meshes. But it's just built in. So you just
Okay.
drag, you put like a stone wall or something, and it just does everything for you.
So
Which is
used to you
fucking
would have
dope.
to do them individually on top of the actual developing the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, and you don't have to anymore, which is just a huge game changer.
Yeah, so the less shit people have to worry about in terms of the like the really basic low level stuff like that, the more they can think about high level stuff that's interesting and creative and different, right?
Yeah,
the
less
they won't
man
have to
hours.
worry.
was just that if it's so easy, will we get games that look the same or whatever? And
Yeah,
I mean, yes, but we'll also get more games, which will then mean that there's more awesome ideas.
The-
Like it just
Yeah,
sort of,
yeah.
it's almost like the free market for engines, where it's like, yes,
the incentive will still be there for them to differentiate themselves.
exactly. Well, to
and
be
do
more
something
so in a
awesome.
way, because
More
so like
so.
if we could remember when Sleeve was lying and said he was going to make a game about Karak back in Dreams.
Never did. Right?
Dreams.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
we're
I
gonna make
do
the fucking
remember.
blah blah
Yeah.
blah." In Unreal, iteration is now so much faster that somebody can like, for example, if you're telling somebody about something, you can say, "I have an idea for a game," and I'm talking from personal experience because I'm messing around in it, and I've been doing stuff that I could show somebody the idea and say, "This is my idea for something different. What do you think?"
Almost
And-
mock it up.
yeah,
quickly,
like gray
kind of.
boxing for big companies, but then it's not going to stop big companies from them looking and going, okay, the competition is rising. What do we need to do now, and what
Yeah.
what new things can we do? And there's a lot in Unreal. The blueprints, the Ascent developers were talking about the blueprints, and it was just like blueprints have been there for a while, but
Yeah.
they were able to. What were you saying, Reg? It's C# or what is it?
No, C++ if you want to actually code.
There we go.
But a lot of stuff, many whole games can be done with just blueprints. You don't really need to code.
Exactly. And then if you are smart, right, smarter than me, you can go into the blueprint, tear it up, take what you want, and it's not
Tweak it,
copying code like it would be for John Carmack leaving his company and taking code that we talked about. It's where you can say this blueprint's doing this, but I want to completely change why it's doing that. I want that,
Yeah.
but I want it to do this thing over here and be able to do so. And then Nanite and stuff like that with LODs, that's all going to be awesome. I mean, personally, it's going to be awesome.
Plus, there's already a bunch of like Unreal 4 assets and shit. And apparently, from what I've been seeing, it's so easy to just import from Unreal 4 to 5.
And if you're
Which is-
smart,
which is
there's
good.
a couple caveats I talked about prior to the podcast. There's a couple little issues for somebody dumb like me who's not like in it that you have to, sometimes you'll have to adjust stuff. But for the most part, yeah, anybody who even knows, anybody who should be releasing something versus myself, my shit should stay off the internet. But their stuff, they will know how to import and change and adjust. And it's, to me, man, I don't see any real negatives because also you're not removing Unity. Unity's out there. What's it called? Game Maker?
Yeah.
Game Maker?
RPG Game Maker.
RPG
Yeah.
Game Maker.
Well,
And the good
that's
thing about it
the-
too is this engine will push innovation to other engines to step up their game.
That's
too,
exactly
so.
what I was getting to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Reg?
Game Maker Studio is the other one.
Game
I
Maker
think.
Studio, CryEngine, Logjam or fucking Logger Jam or
Lumberyard.
Lumberyard for Amazon. So there are some out there. And
Which
Isn't there a
is
snow
basically
engine
CryEngine.
too? Some kind of snow engine?
oh yeah, Snowdrop.
Yeah, snow.
There's Frostbite, Snowdrop. What's the one for Horizon? And not Nuria. It's
Decimum.
Decima. Yeah. Source. Thank you. There's Source. So you've got a lot, man. It's to me, it's just like you'll see some of these other companies probably drop to the wayside. I think CryEngine seems to be the most likely because it doesn't seem like it seems like there's a lot of issues there.
Oh yeah. It's
So-
a janky ass engine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Not
so
optimized.
Dude, it's gonna be so cool to see all these people being able. Somebody said, "Don't forget Northlight." I don't know what that is, but okay. So you got Northlight, whatever that is too.
man, I've heard about that. Let me look what that made.
I mean, you also have some of the choose your own adventure ones, like choice of. You know, we're always talking about the choice of choose your own adventure. You have a lot of those RPG based scripting
the
languages.
Oh, it's what made Control, Quantum Break, Northlight.
Oh,
Oh, Remedy.
Really? Well, let me
Oh,
tell
okay.
you, I'm not too happy about that then, because controlled FPS suck balls.
Oh my god, I'm the only person I've ever heard. You're the only other person I didn't like that game with me. Like
No, I
everyone
like
else
the
did.
game. I like the game.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there were
Okay,
issues.
never mind.
I mean, I will agree. There were
Oh.
issues. There were issues, but the FPS, especially on consoles, was redonk, not releasable. Like if I was the developer for that, I would have been like, no way, guys. Like we can't. Especially when the game. Here's the problem: if you hinge on something, then it needs to be good. So if I go to like the combine for the NFL as a sprinter and like a receiver, and I'm slow, people will be like, "The fuck are you here for that? You should be a center, you fatty." But what happens in games is they'll be like destruction. You can destroy anything at 5 FPS. And you're like, the fuck does that? That makes no sense. Fix your shit before you release it. And Control had terrible FPS. It was just, had issues everywhere. And Cyberpunk got released. So
And then
it's not like
DLSS fixed it. So
True.
Control really picked up for me when you got the levitation spell ability. Like I
Oh,
felt
for sure.
like yeah,
Dude, I
I felt
liked
like
Control.
a god at that point.
I like Control. I thought
Yeah.
it was unique enough, enjoyable enough to play. I like their worlds too. I like the mix of Alan Wake. I mean, I'm a sucker for their X-Files, I guess, right? Isn't that what
Mhm.
you'd call their
They do it well. They do it well.
supernatural, paranormal
So-
X-Files?
yeah, paranormal weird shit.
Yeah,
like
I love-
and then low fantasy, like you know.
And
so.
and the mixture, well, this is why I like Weird West, is the mixing of the different games. In Weird West, it mixes characters you've been, but that mixing of narratives where you're like, wait, that's called AE, like Alan Wake experience, AWE. What the fuck is that? And then you start like meta and then
Yeah.
things that probably aren't real, you start thinking. Like
you start
Dark
thinking
Souls.
about like how Fallout is actually in the Oblivion universe.
Oh
or
my
whatever,
God, we've
all
talked about this for
crazy-
ages. Dude. So Fallout
Mm-hmm.
and Oblivion, right, is one. And then the other one that Silver was arguing with me with, I'm going to stand by it and just say no. But which is Warhammer and Warhammer RPG. And if they're connected at all. And
Oh,
like is
30K
one-
and not 30K?
40K. 40K.
40K and not
30K.
40K?
30K. I love
I
that.
don't know, dude.
25K. Well, that's like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's got
Mm.
like Cyberpunk 2077, Cyberpunk 2050, Cyberpunk 2020,
Yeah.
which is weird now. Don't you guys think that's sort of weird when we see old fiction like Star Trek and they're like, in the year 2020, Khan will rule, starships and fucking
And we're in
destroy
it
Star
now?
Trek, and we're in it now, and we can't
you
even
have
work from
no-
home well.
You have no idea how disappointed I was
I know.
when 2015 came around and there were no hoverboards.
I know.
All right.
No hoverboards, no hover cars, and then somebody's like, "Well, hover cars might be dangerous," and I'm like, "That's exactly why they
Where are
need to
my
be
Nike
made."
shoes that just automatically fucking
Where are my
fit
Nike shoes? Yeah, remember
God damn
we
it.
used to have the Nike shoes with little wheels in them, and people were like, "Oh man,
Heelys.
that's going to be what were they called? Heelys."
Heelys.
That was a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
All of this
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and now you're just like, we got nothing, man.
Man,
We
I
got-
miss Heelys, dude. That shit was so cool.
We got
I used
nothing.
to.
We got nothing cool.
Yeah.
What do we got? I got a green
We-
green screen
We
video
got
playing
great
behind me. That's it.
phones.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
have no
so
cool.
Thanks to a
no
Chinese,
more-
hacking
Yeah.
company, we have great.
We're
always
focusing
thought-
our efforts on being able to scroll fast on Instagram.
I can scroll two screen. Well, I was telling Reg, I have the big that Samsung, right? And
Yeah.
I've been really doing a lot of multi-screen, and it's pretty insane that they are that powerful. But I would rather be in a Star Trek ship right now. And I'm not.
Pretty cool.
Sometimes your green screen shows you in a Star Trek ship.
Yeah. It's just sad, man.
In a
It's like-
utopian society where money isn't even a thing.
oh
and
my
we can
God!
will
Remember when they were
everything.
trying? Yeah, and they were like, we don't even know what that is. What is money? It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like in the Jetsons where they use tubes
I don't know where we're
They
going
use
now. This
tubes
is
to-
now.
to transport themselves
yeah.
between
But
places.
remember, the Jetsons was weird. It also had sidewalks that just moved. That
Yeah.
If you look at the
That made
Jetsons,
no
they have
sense.
it's not
Yeah.
up, just
Flying cars.
straight. Like we're that
the-
lazy in the future in the Jetsons that you're like,
I mean, we already do
does
at the
check out.
airport. We
That
already
does
do
check
it in the
out.
airport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. In the airports, they have that
true.
now.
What are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walkolators. They do have
Yep.
those. in
And
airports.
see, I think they do it in the airport though, because you have to cover a good amount of distance in such a short
Yeah,
amount
yeah.
of time. So
Mm.
it makes sense there.
You
But
walk on them. Like you're not supposed to just stand
Oh,
on
of
them.
course.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it-
yeah.
escalators, same thing. I don't.
the
stand on them.
sidewalks started
Right.
like having a travail boat over them, and they kind of like
I forgot
Yeah.
all about that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I mean, we got shit, man. We really, we got nothing that we were promised. When I was a kid growing up, and they were like, "Oh, in
Half-Life
2010,
3.
you're gonna have all the." We don't
do
yeah.
have we have rockets that land on their butts and
Dude,
don't have to
admittedly,
eject.
that's next level. The first time I
That's pretty
saw a
cool.
rocket land vertically, I was
Legit like that?
yes, that was
shit.
that was. In fact, issues with Elon aside, Nor.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Elon is like pushing, and these companies beneath him that he
Multiple
buys
fronts.
as well.
Yeah.
So we don't need to get into that
I mean,
discussion, but multiple
yeah.
fronts. Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna
Also, he
say?
did basically buy Twitter now, didn't he?
He
Which
did.
is
What was
like
that about? 5%?
12%
Well,
or whatever he bought.
9% of.
Wow.
So he's now the biggest
Right.
shareholder.
Of Twitter.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it was around 9%, but
Dude,
someone.
here's the thing. Occasionally I'll have a really good idea. An idea that I feel is ahead of its time. Occasionally. We're talking 3 in my life where I'm like, whoa, I'm ahead of, right? And they never work out because I'm also lazy. So I'll be like, whoa, that sounds awesome. I'll fall asleep. Elon is the guy that will buy Twitter and he will do something on it that will be like, why the fuck did I not think of that? And that's what I'm actually hoping for.
Well,
Is
I
that
mean,
that's
it
the
already,
mark? Oh.
Before he bought the shares, he posted like a poll, from what I know. Do you want an edit button?
Yeah.
And then it was announced that he bought the shares.
Yeah, I mean, you got that too.
And just the news that he bought the shares already sent the shares up 22%.
Up 22%, yeah. Dude, if you have a little bit of money, if you just follow Elon and his and his investments, go ahead. What were we going to
And
say?
what's crazy, he'd be very vocal about what he'd be investing into. Like, he does not care.
No. He's got in trouble too by saying
Oh
shit
yeah, he
that's
pumped
ruined
and
his own.
dumped.
Well, his own stock sometimes, where he's like, I don't think it's worth buying our stock. That's what I like. Here's the thing: you have fuck it money when your own stocks you don't give a shit, and you're just like, yeah, it's probably not worth buying our stock right now, and you're like, Jesus, the board behind the scenes is like, what is he doing? That's
I could just see the board just like finding out through Twitter. Like, he said, what?
dude, but that's the thing. He is
Or
the guy
smoking
who
weed
will
with
buy
Joe-
Twitter, and
Joe
there will,
Rogan.
like you said, edit. There will be something that and other people can do this too. I don't think anybody thought Amazon selling books was going to turn into what it did, even though people have very valid issues with a lot of these things. But I just think it's amazing when people are able to come up with these ideas where I'm like, wow, not NFTs. That fucking sucks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Some ideas are bad. But when you see some of these ideas and you're just like, holy shit, that's a rocket landed on its ass. And he's just like, we'll go to Mars. And you start to believe him.
Or like a
if
flush
NASA
for
says
your
we're going
sink.
to Mars, how many times did NASA crashed their own fucking satellite. They didn't even figure out meters to feet. Like, at some point, you have to be like, guys, maybe some of you guys should have math on.
Delegate some of this shit.
Yeah, maybe get a
or,
scholarship.
Farm it out.
But Elon's like, hey, man, from my backyard, I think I'm going to go to Mars. He wants to die on Mars. That's what's awesome. He's like, I want to die on Mars. And I'm like,
it makes you
Jesus.
dream a little too, because it's like, it's a bit inspiring.
It's very inspiring. Even
I see a lot of people compare him to like our Iron Man, like real life Iron Man.
for sure. I mean, in the mental part. I mean, because Iron Man was also reprehensible in a lot of the stuff
A
he did.
crazy philanthropist.
Yeah, and he sold weapons. And that's one thing I don't think Elon has any money in weapons. But that's what's cool. Flamethrowers. Okay, bad idea. I forgot about the flamethrowers. That was ridiculous.
True,
Like,
yeah.
we talked about this, and I was all, I don't want to hear about somebody mass killing people with a flame. Like, that's just not.
Yeah.
That's horrendous. That was a bad idea. But I love those people, man, and there's not enough of them. We need more people who are just like, and he had good idea. I mean, admittedly, his family was rich, but he's had good ideas all the time, and I just don't know where. Like, when you watch him talk, and he'll be like, he looks always like he's not, like he's split cloned, and that he got the dumb one, like Multiplicity, the movie, where you make a copy of a copy, and pretty soon you're like, that's questionable.
Yes.
And
Well, the
Elon's
dude
just
is-
sitting there, and he'll be like, what if we had rockets landing on his ass? And then he just goes home and does it. And I got a lot of, I think that's awesome. Like, that's very
Yeah.
Yeah, I think something we all can take away from that is not take assumptions super seriously. So you hear people assume that some stuff is just not possible, and you take that on board, and you know. But a lot of times when you go back to first principles, it's like, okay, let's look at the problem. Why is it not possible? And
yeah,
that's
so many
where,
people are into that deballing hope. Like, you'll see people be like, well, if we can't fix Earth, why go to Mars? And it's like,
Yeah.
well,
No, people have looked at it. It's not possible.
yeah, it's
Like,
not possible. And it's like somebody a week later. Well, okay, let me give you guys a huge example. When I was young, we had, I don't know if people do this much anymore. We had family reunions. So once a year, like family from all over the world would get together at a particular place and you'd get to meet your family. We were reading National Enquirer. Do you guys know what that is? So National Enquirer is a fake news, true fake. They'll be like, Bat Boy found in Saudi Arabia, like that. And there was no issue with it. Everybody knew. They said something in it that turned out to be true. They said mankind genetically mixed a plant with animal genes. And at the time, it was completely impossible. Scientists were like, you don't need to worry about it. Completely impossible. No chance of doing it. And now tobacco, you know, has like firefly genes in it so that it glows at night so you can see when it's ready to be harvested. Like, it's nuts.
It's crazy.
And at the time, scientists were flat saying, no, that's impossible. That they're not even. And then somebody was like, what if we, you know, admittedly, those are also bad ideas because they could turn out pretty
We
fucking-
still need flushes for
COVID,
your
but-
sink, you know?
Dude, or your shitter.
sink
Why
flush.
has nobody figured out a way to push an electric button to have the shitter be auto-plunged? Why do I have to
True.
grab a plunger? Imagine if you wiped
I mean,
and
I
then
don't know
threw
if
it on the floor.
Japanese
That's what
ones
the
do it
plunger
because
is.
they're super advanced.
What are?
The Japanese toilets are super
But they're
electronic.
yeah.
bidets, aren't they? They don't. Do they auto-plunge
They do
themselves if they get stuck?
everything.
Oh,
Like
really?
they do auto clean and all the.
I had a Korean.
No shit. No
I
shit.
I had a.
He's like,
Sorry.
it existed somewhere. I just didn't know.
I had a Korean thing like that you'd put on a toilet seat, and it like washes and dries your ass.
Well, yeah,
and makes the
bidets.
seat all warm.
Yeah, bidets do
Well,
that.
that also,
Yeah, yeah,
that-
but like automatic, and they're like, hey, have a good night. Have
yeah,
a good day.
my cousins do have that, but I mean, if it's like
I don't want my
auto-plunge-
toilet to talk to me, bro.
Nah, that's
What's going on?
Hey, little small today. And you're like,
Have you seen Better Call Saul where it's like,
you're like you don't measure up.
have you
Yeah.
seen Better Call Saul where it was like,
Never
yeah,
seen it.
give me a big one. Good
Oh
job.
God, yeah. See, no,
Feed
I don't
it
want
to me.
I don't want to be like I'm choking on this. But the idea of,
Encouragement.
like a plunger is so gross when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting. You just and it's got poop on it. You're and then you throw it onto your container or onto the floor for a lot of people. And then you look at like these like we figured out all this other shit, rockets landing. Why isn't there a button that I can go a rotor rooter where it's automatic? Just,
Well, it's not a very flashy problem to look into, Karak. Like, who's out there?
but washing your ass
Flashy.
isn't
Dreaming
super
of-
flashy. They got bidets. But I agree, you're right. There isn't a lot. But don't you think it would sell well if you were like, this toilet has an auto plunge?
I bet you
I
there is
guess.
one out there. I
Well,
bet you
Red
if you
says
really
that
looked
there's auto
up,
cleaners, so there
is one.
probably is. But you'd have
What
to.
it is, it's just not mainstream. It's not everywhere. Like,
Toilet auto plunger.
Somebody just said, "Wow, is this conversation gone off the rails?" Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we're not extending past where we go a lot of times. We are talking
That's
about the
true.
future, though.
That's true.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, to bring it back to games, Unreal allows people to do this kind of stuff, but we're constantly stymied by things, and it's just even VR. Star Trek
Holy
was going to be a
fuck,
thing.
dude, that was incredible.
What?
You just like bringing it back to Unreal.
Oh, but here's the
No,
thing.
it's seamless. It's good.
VR
Yeah.
still has a wire. So
True.
if you go back and look, and it's like Cyberpunk is like, oh, VR, you're gonna get lost in there, and you're gonna fucking, you might starve to death, and blah, blah, blah. Even people worried about that. By the way, I don't know if you guys remember, but when VR started to become big, people were like, we want to talk about the health and safety. Fuck health and safety. Make it dangerous, man. Give them a like XCOM. Give them a 5% chance of dying. People still do it, and you'll take care of some of the people that are dumb enough to continue to try and see what happens with 5%. I'm just joking about killing people, but I really do
yeah, don't
believe
kill people.
that VR, all this kind of stuff hasn't made any jumps. All of this stuff, it's all been caught up in war. It's like, who makes the best missile? Like, what if what
Yeah.
if there was a battle to make the best VR? And I guess Facebook's done it, but they don't want VR. They want your data. Meta is not made to be the best VR. It's made to get you into VR so they can get the best data from you.
Join the
Hell yeah.
ecosystem. I'm just waiting for VR to be just like glasses or something that just shine lasers into your
Did you see the
retinas,
contacts?
and all
The
you can
contacts
see.
yesterday, the first AR contacts were.
Oh, they were
printed.
finally, dude. I heard about them like years
They
ago.
look like
Those
data,
are-
though. I don't know if I want to put a chip. They're full
Yeah,
on.
you
You
have
can
like a chip.
tell. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're full on. You can see that something's there.
That's cool as fuck, dude. I
is,
want
it is.
that, man.
Dude, smell-o-vision never needs to be made. We know that. We can all agree,
Fuck,
right?
Why? Yeah. Fuck that.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
like porn? It'd be
Porn
horrendous.
or like playing a
Oh,
horror
boy.
game and
Playing
just
a horror
smelling all
game, pooping
the dead
yourself, and it's like
bodies.
No.
blow smell. But
Yeah.
you're looking at all this stuff. You've got like VR coming, all these kind of things. I wish companies would say, let's make the best VR. Imagine where we'd be. Well, maybe we wouldn't be anywhere. Who knows? Maybe there's an issue there. Well, I guess size of chips matters. Like how small.
Yeah, chips are a big deal
Gotta
right
get-
now. Too,
Got to
Yeah.
get serious competition in these industries to have that happen.
We do. Kel says $5 chipping in to keep the lights on. Hit the thumbs up, chat people. Thank you very much.
Even games, I thought after Half-Life Alex, like a lot of more companies would do
I
some cool
honestly
shit like
agree
that.
with you. I thought Half-Life Alex was going to be
Like the
call
start.
to arms a little bit. And it,
Yeah.
you know, it
Funny
really,
enough, it seems the advent of the Quest
yeah.
has been one of the biggest, like,
You know why though? Their
things to-
price is low to get you into the ecosystem.
yeah.
And
I
they're
have
the
one,
dragging
if that
their
wireless-
says
feet on
anything.
signing you out.
I'm not a VR person, and I have one. If that says anything,
There you go.
Quest. Dude,
Mhm.
Quest is it's internal because I think we all have one except for, well, Abzy and Johnny may don't have.
I
Quest.
don't have one.
Okay. The Quest's internal experience is phenomenal. It's beyond. It's so ahead of its time compared to everything else. Even the wireless isn't as exciting to me as like the voice typing and just how everything's up and running. But you know that everything you are typing, Facebook is just like, thank you, cha-ching.
yeah.
Thank you.
But-
it's like Alexa in a way. I like Alexa, but it's there. Shut up. It's there just for that. Just for that. You know it is too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We know it is. When I go online
They're
after I've
listening.
talked to you guys about particular games, and I go to like online and I see ads for what we've talked about,
it's
I'm
creepy.
not an idiot.
Really?
it's oh
Mhm.
yeah, it's for sure
shit.
gone to their database and their database rounded around.
Didn't Facebook get into a lawsuit over that?
Facebook's been in a lot of lawsuits. Bro.
That's true. And they usually don't go anywhere.
Yeah. I want to smell my own fingers after brewing a potion in Balmora, the People Show says. Yeah, I think smell-o-vision does not need to be made. I think we can all
No.
agree on
Yeah,
that.
I think we can live without it. Yeah.
What other tech are we looking forward to? I would like to
Dude,
see
remember?
more...
Oh my God! Remember the thing where you had to like? Oh my! It was such a bad idea. It was a Kickstarter where you injected yourself with an IV,
Oh, dude.
and then every time you got hit, you lost blood.
Dude, how did they think that was going to be legal? Like, that is
That's
the
so
dumbest
bad, dude.
idea. And it was a full-on Kickstarter. I don't think it got canceled. I just don't think
It's like donate your blood in a cool, fun way. Fuck off.
Do you... I mean, that's the type of person I don't want getting blood from. Questionable
Mm.
blood. If somebody's doing that, you're like, you probably got something. Like,
You know what
Yeah.
I think? And this is, okay, it's going to sound goofy, but I actually think this is going to be a thing. Hear me out. 3D printing food at home.
Yeah, you
A
mean
lot
you
of
buy
food.
a container of some kind that's got the constituents in it?
So
bunch
if
of
you think about it,
nutrients.
a lot of foods, and because I've been kind of looking into learning like how to cook more stuff, I'm seeing that so many things can be made from base ingredients,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you look at it, so much stuff. Like you just have flour
Yeah.
and like milk. You can make, you know, all types of sauces that you would think, how the fuck did they do? So for me, how far are we from having a device where we plug in fucking, you know, flour and
Yeah,
2-3
no, I
other
agree.
base ingredients, and it can put together, I'm not saying gourmet, you know, but something decent, like pasta dish.
I'm probably
Right?
assuming somebody's already is messing with it, because if you had like you know how you get packaged, you can get like packaged meat that are vacuum sealed. They don't need to be,
Yes.
I can't see why somebody doesn't have almost printer colors. This is steak color. This is rice color. This
Yeah,
is veggie
yeah.
color, and you plug it into your 3D printer, and you
Man,
say,
I'm just thinking about it, and it just feels like it's gonna taste like shit.
Yeah, but you'd get over it. Like you would try it, and it's fucking great. I'm good. I'm past.
that was a beta thing to say. Well, you'll get over it. You just need to-
No. But what I mean is,
You
you
become
would get
accustomed
over
to it,
it
you mean?
immediately because you would try it. It would be awesome, and then you'd be like, "Oh, it's awesome." So you know you're.
You
you're
mean
past
the
that
food
initial-
tastes awesome, or do you mean, because I
Yeah,
think
if
Absy's
they-
saying, what if the food tastes like dong, like it's not?
Okay. Well, I'm saying if they manage to do it so it tastes good,
That would be
the
awesome.
initial
Yeah.
perception or the initial bias of like, "Ugh, it's artificial," you'll get over it quickly.
Oh,
because
hey,
it tastes
I do want to
great.
do a shout out. This is a really good time to shout out something. If you ever have any person around you, one of the easiest ways to tell if they're a complete absolute liar and should never be trusted ever again around you is when they try to tell you Impossible Burger tastes like burger.
Oh God.
Because, dude, fuck you.
Have you tried one? Actually?
Yes, and they're liars.
I
It is Dude, I saw people like on cooking shows being like, I'll eat this up. It's just like hamburger. I don't know if maybe they coated their mouth with the money that somebody paid them or what. That shit was nasty. It tasted nothing
man,
like a burger.
My friend made me eat artificial chicken wings or something. I don't know what they're made of.
I have seen. I think they're soy or tofu, aren't they? think-
Tofu plus cauliflower maybe or something.
Cauliflower, yeah, right.
It was not for me. Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to put that out there. Don't believe them.
Yeah,
That was
I
pretty
don't like
aggressive,
when they
but-
try to sell it as if it's the same thing.
Exactly,
Because
just say
clearly
it's not. Right.
It's fine that it's not, and I applaud people who take like an ethical stance, right? And they go like, "Hey, listen, I don't want to," right? I'm good with that, but the pretending that a soy burger is, or like vegan cheese is the same as cheese, like it's just not, right? And
Or when somebody tries to tell you, and I know Reg drinks this, somebody tries to tell you almond milk is milk. Mm-mm.
Well, I don't usually drink it now.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry. Maybe it was Silver. Somebody likes almond milk a lot.
I think I ate like a vegan burger once, and it was just quinoa and black bean burger,
Mm.
and it didn't taste like a burger, but it tasted fucking
well,
good.
it can
wait,
be great
Gaming
too,
Addict,
but
you
that's
said you
my
have to go?
point. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go and help my
Oh.
mom do some stuff. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a
invite.
blast, man. Thanks for coming on, and we kept
Thanks,
the
man.
topics completely, absolutely focused on gaming once again.
Oh my, yeah, today was.
yeah.
Have a
As
good one,
usual.
man.
It's always fun to talk about, yeah. That's why I know a lot of people get upset with like the derailing not on games, but it's just like, man, we do more than just games. Like
Well, I
We
think
have
it all
lives.
feeds back into games.
Mhm,
I mean, in some way, whether it be tech or whatever. But anyway, not to hold you. Thank you. If you guys get a chance, check out his channel, Gaming Addict. Also on Sunday, do the Lord's podcast.
yeah.
What time is that?
It's at 1 p.m. Eastern.
1 p.m. Eastern. All right, have a good
Yeah.
one. man.
Cheers, man.
You
Take
guys
care.
have a good
Right.
day, and I
Good to meet you,
appreciate
man.
the invite. You too, man.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, I don't like the fake milks, fake cheeses.
Yeah, it's just like you don't have to sell it as if it's the same thing, because it can be its own great thing that's
Yeah.
different, but also awesome. Like, Arabic food like falafel is great.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be.
What is falafel?
Chickpeas.
Well,
Chickpeas.
falafel is basically chickpeas. So, have you ever gotten like a doner kebab, Karak?
Just so you know, both of those words mean something completely else in America. A kebab
Oh.
is food
Sa-
on
the
a
sandwich.
stick,
Yeah.
and then
So-
so I don't know what you mean.
Okay.
If I
Okay,
don't know
so
if I
if
have.
you go to
For us,
to,
it would be what would be the sandwich for you? I think the donut sandwich or something like in a.
Okay,
Falafel?
Yeah, in a pita almost.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can be in a
have it
pita.
s- yeah,
so
can eat
you
it,
would go to a shop and they would have like a big roll of meat on a
shawarma.
on
we're,
a
in a-
rotisserie.
we're already
kind
in a
of
good
thing.
spot for me.
That's
Yeah.
shawarma. The shawarma
Yeah.
is basically like they have like a massive
But what meat is it?
It's lamb or
mystery
chicken.
meat.
lamb or
Oh,
chicken. yeah.
chicken.
Lamb or chicken, and it's rotating, and they shave off, pieces of it, and then they put it either in pita bread or in a wrap or something like
Can I
that.
ask you guys a
Yeah.
question? Imagine an alien race that look like chickens, and they show
Why?
up,
Oh,
and they're like, "These fuckers just eat their feet." Because we have
wait,
like
so
we
they would
sell
be
just
like
the
a
feet and
normal
soup.
chicken?
You're
but they're
shaving
talking, so
food
they're-
off the side of something, and they're like, "What the?"
No,
fuck?
but here's
These
the
guys
beauty
are
of it.
evil.
No, you don't understand. Here's the beauty of it. It's so processed that the
yeah.
roll of chicken doesn't look anything
No,
like
no,
a
I'm
chicken.
talking about just the way we eat chicken as a whole.
Oh,
I'm not
as a
talking that
whole?
they would stop
Oh, like
at
the
that
mass
one
slaughter and all
store.
that shit.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
we
yeah.
sell just the feet. Imagine an alien race showed up. They
Yeah,
were
but-
huge,
but
and
I
they could
think-
grab
I
us
still
and just
think,
eat our
like-
feet. It'd be pretty
Like
creepy.
sausages would still be a better example.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like you grind up an animal and stuff
put it in
into its
itself.
own.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh wow!
I love sausage, but I remember being at my. We were making. Had deer, I think, and they were making it, and I realized that that's what the sausage, which I love the skin, the snick, that little texture, like. And then they were like, "Well, that's a shitter tube." Remember, I'm from a redneck place. They weren't calling it intestine. That's a shitter tube, and I'm like, okay, I still ate it, but I mean, it's gross when you think.
There's
about
also, and for Arabs, there's something called saj, which is like sheep intestines, or is it lamb intestines or something? It's pretty good.
Yeah, my friend is a rancher, and they would have like cow brains, cow tongue, all that.
Oh, I tried cow brain. It's not that good. I don't like
Yikes!
it. Yeah, I don't.
Dude, I'm pretty plain. It's like eggs.
Yeah, when you start to get into
sorry.
organs, for me, it's a bit.
Organs, yeah, that's pretty.
Organs,
it's pretty
I don't really do
Though I
that,
do eat pork rinds, which when you think about it, it's just like fat, blown up.
Yeah, but that's.
But I mean,
I'm more okay with that. For sure.
I know. I'm just saying, what if an alien race that looked like pigs showed up, and they were like,
Oh, yeah.
"Dude, what the fuck? You're eating a
not
bag
cool,
of my
dude.
skin?" That's why I
cool.
think we all exactly. That's all they say. They're like, we want to join together. Not cool though. Can you imagine that? They land on the president's lawn and they're like, okay, listen,
It's like
international peacekeeping. We want to do all this. We're interplanetary, but seriously, that ain't cool, man.
Yeah,
That's not cool.
listen, us
Cancel
pig people, we're really looking into entering a treaty with you guys, but we've seen what you do
And
with
they've
the
got their
pork
hooves
rinds.
crossed. Us pig
Yeah,
people are thinking of joining with you. Yeah.
And all the time you're thinking, how do you make stuff without opposable thumbs? And they're like,
I just always like to think of these things because we think of things all being so normal, and then I'll go to another a place that they do different food, and I'll be like, that's gross. Imagine a completely different race.
oh, if we arrive there and they make fucking humans on a
like I said,
rotisserie.
we eat we have soup out of chicken feet. Like that's a big deal here.
Yeah.
So you buy not for me.
Oh, wow.
Jesus. But I mean, here you can buy an entire thing of just chicken feet. And I was like, imagine a race that was big enough, just grab us by our feet and go, God damn, these feet are good, and then throw the body away. I mean, that
human feet. So almost like, oh wow,
that's another thing.
it's a whole level of obsession with feet.
I'm gonna kink shame on that too, man.
Yeah.
I'll hear somebody talking about like feet, and I'm like, for me, man. Man, nothing
But you
better
know
than a
what's
Brazilian
interesting?
steakhouse. I don't know what that is. That seems
Oh,
questionable.
Brazilian steak? No, it's
Oh, is
great.
that real? Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought that was
it's
like
real.
know.
It's great. Yeah.
I thought that was like
it's
a
basically
Dutch
like
oven,
barbecue.
where you're like,
no,
that
it's
sounds good.
cold.
And then,
No, it's like Brazilian barbecue. It's like barbecue.
you guys need to try monkey soup. I'm not eating my cousin, man.
Not
Monkeys are
happening.
my cousins. I love monkeys. I wouldn't want to have one.
They're
They're
so
scary.
cute.
They
Monkeys
are
so
until they
cute.
get close to you and chew off your feet or
True.
your toes and your
True.
mouth
True.
and your face and your lips. But they're pretty cool from
But
a
they're so
distance.
cute. Yeah.
If you did you guys ever see Monkey Shines? The old movie Monkey Shines. It was a Stephen King movie about a pet
No?
monkey that becomes territorial over the human and becomes a killer. You guys haven't seen that?
Oh.
It's actually a pretty good horror movie.
Okay.
Wow, that was off the rails. What else do we got?
Yeah.
We're
So
still,
Unreal
we're still
5.
got
Okay,
time.
we're done.
So we went to feet and other topics.
What else do we have for games? We have
So
Reg had a bunch
shit,
of news, didn't he?
questions. Yeah, we have that, but
okay.
we also have questions. I got to check Patreon. What'd you have, Reg? What did I?
Oh,
The
Ubisoft
Activision
stopped.
Blizzard quality assurance stuff that they made 1,100 quality assurance testers full time.
So they took their part to these are contractors, Reg?
Yeah.
Good.
But not the ones that unionized, I believe, right?
Yes. Not the ones that are currently unionizing because they say legally they can't until that's done. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, I see how. Okay, so wait a minute. Is this a shady thing then? Is this like a, hey,
Might
you're
be.
not.
It might be.
It,
You're
it
not
might be
like
something like, see,
yeah.
if you didn't have a
Yeah,
union, you would have a
dude,
pay
that's-
raise now.
That's what I
That's
was thinking.
some mega brain thought process right there, but I hope that's not. God, that would be terrible.
I mean, hey man, these days, like QA needs a bump. They need to.
QA, yeah, they
really
need
hard.
all the help they can get regardless. It is weird that
Yeah.
QA is considered the janitors of the video game world, right? They're like, for whatever reason, that particular job is looked, and I've done QA. It's I mean, I don't see it as being any easier than a developer. It's just a different thing. And it's
You
very
don't
difficult.
just play the game. You have to like
No, it's-
recreate
Bro,
like
you kill
Yeah,
your
you have
desire.
to figure out how
Yeah.
when it breaks and have to reproduce that shit. And
I
yeah.
did Watch Dogs, and they were like, run into guardrails. And I'm going to tell you, nothing will kill your love of a game.
Oh yeah,
Faster
you have to
than
do
somebody saying
the
jump
stupidest
100
shit.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Well, and you have to redo it all the time because then you have to also redo it after it's
After
supposed to
the-
be fixed, for example.
Yes.
And
yes.
then they get shit because you'll be, and even I used to do this. I've pared it down. But people be like, QA never checked this game. And QA is like, no, we did. That's like problem number 44.
Dude,
we
'cause-
told those.
Yes, because every time you fix something, you might break something else.
And the
all
developers
time.
can't fix everything. Yeah.
Well, also
Yeah.
that, and there's a priority list of what to fix, even.
For
So,
sure. Yeah. Money wise and stuff like that. Looking here real quick on Patreon too, because I want to make sure I did state that I was going to answer any questions. I do have some in Reddit, but let me look on Patreon real quick. Did we even get my patrons? Never. They always respond in Discord because I think 99.9% of my patrons. Oh, we got one. Hugo says, this week it was announced that Max Payne 1 and 2 are getting remade. Okay, do you guys think they should retain the comic book presentation, which we did not exactly discuss? So do you guys think the cutscenes should stick in that, like the choppy, where they
For
were
that,
like,
I would have to remember them.
Yeah, same.
okay.
I remember them because I watched my friend play
Mm-hmm.
the other day. I think they're fine, but they are like a compromise. When I see that type of cutscene nowadays, like it reminded me a little bit of Scarlet Nexus, where the
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
cutscenes are stills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Mhm.
I
they're a
think-
bit
Hitman 2,
animated.
Johnny, Hitman 2. They didn't have the
Yes.
money, remember? They had the cutscenes
Exactly.
Yeah.
like colored cutscenes.
And
yeah.
you know immediately it's a budget thing, which is okay. Like they pulled off, a good something okay for some of those games with it. But for me, it's just always like an inferior version of a cutscene.
Okay.
Yeah, see,
Personally.
I think you're gonna get two different type of people. Like ones that are gonna want to keep it the way it was because it was like charm or whatever, and people
Yeah.
that are like, okay, no, we want like actual cutscenes.
I want whatever works better. And I know that
Yeah.
it's not a cop-out. I'm saying they should try it. I'm sure they'll probably talk about both. And if they feel that the comics don't keep the charged up emotion of the game, like it doesn't feel as it just doesn't feel right, I'm okay with them not having it.
Yeah.
No, okay. I was looking at images now. Those static things.
Not for you.
no.
I didn't think
No.
they would be. I mean, they're old.
I think those comic cutscenes can work and can be pretty cool if they have like some animation to it. Some
That's true.
kind
Tales of Arise did it
stylish
well
element.
too.
Oh, Tales of Arise, Reg. Didn't have
They-
animation as well in its.
They-
So do you mean like where they showed like Max Payne punching, but they do a zoom in on Max Payne?
Yeah, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
So some life to it.
Yeah. Yeah, because static, man. That's gonna be rough if it's just like here's Max Payne in the top left corner. And you're like, dude, I didn't pay to read a comic. I mean, I'm not saying I would say that, but I could see others. That was it for their Reddit. I'm gonna look at these before Johnny can jump. I think we hit everything actually that was already in here.
Okay.
Somebody said,
Oh, and they
what will
stopped
Devolver
development.
Digital do now that E3 is down? Oh, I get it. Devolver
Oh, yeah.
Digital. So he's asking, what are they going to do? Because they always do the goofy stuff. I bet you they will do an E3 in some way.
Their
Anti
own
E3. Yep, they will.
Type of for sure.
Oh, also they
I-
stopped development for Ghost Recon. That as
Exactly.
well.
I did have a couple more things.
Oh, go for it.
Breakpoint development stopped, including the NFT system for Breakpoint. They only said we'll bring it to other games, but Breakpoint itself is completely done now. No further development. Epic and Lego are partnering up to create a metaverse for kids. So look forward to that. And the last one I think was GeForce Now is adding demos. So the thing I had said for a long time that made the most sense to me for streaming, they finally are adding it.
That is true. That what makes the most sense for streaming is demos.
But don't you have to wait?
No. You don't even have to log in into Steam or anything for the demos.
Oh,
Like they have a list of games you can just demo.
so you would go to their website on the browser.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's weirdly open. It feels like there's a caveat I'm missing. That
Well, you
seems
still have to
weirdly
log
open.
into their system.
Gotcha, but you don't have to
That's the
pay
one-
for a
No, you
subscription.
don't
or
have to
anything.
pay anything. No.
I
mean,
think that's where the money is for streaming.
Oh,
like
so
just-
do I. Demos and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then somebody. What if you like the game, but you maybe don't like the leg or whatever? You buy the game because you want to play it streaming when you can. Very cool. Did that come with the announcement of more games, Reg?
I don't know if that was. I saw it separately. I don't know if it was originally combined with some other.
I do just
announcement.
want to add that the Breakpoint thing, real quick. As I said on Twitter, Ubisoft is the Dread Pirate Roberts. They're like, have a good day, most likely kill you tomorrow. That's what they did with the NFTs. They're like, we're done. 3 weeks ago, by the way, they were selling NFTs to people that are now useless. And they're like, we're done with Breakpoint. We're done with the updating of content and NFTs. See you on the next game where we do NFTs.
Yep.
That's really fucked. Because I don't know how they came out of that and thought this was a success. I mean, did they sell 12? Didn't they?
It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
All right. It's too bad. What do we got for questions, Johnny?
All right, let's hit a few questions here. Appetit says, I just want another thought experiment presented by Johnny. Nice.
Oh, God.
If he doesn't have one, then he can use this. You have to survive for a year in the last game you played. How screwed are you? And
Well,
then
I mean,
I
the
do
last
actually
game would be-
have one to present, but
Weird
we
West,
can
I'd be
answer-
fucked. I don't know.
Weird. Yeah.
Lego, I'd be good. I think
Yeah,
Lego.
exactly.
Tiny
Lego Star
Tina-
Wars was the last one.
I'd be kicking ass.
Tiny Tina definitely fucked. Yeah.
Waxo
I mean,
did a
you'd
$2
just
super
be sitting
chat.
playing D&D, right?
Yeah, Waxo did a $2 super chat, but he just says Max Payne 1 and 2 cell shaded MP3 like cutscenes. I don't know what MP3 like means.
Oh,
But-
like Max Payne 3
Oh,
like
okay.
cutscenes.
All right.
Gotcha.
Oh,
I thought he meant. I don't know what I thought. I was like,
I
thought
know
it was
exactly.
just plays
my brain
audio.
also went there. Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
oh!
How about MPEG cutscene? No.
Oh my god, XVid. Remember the old codecs?
QuickTime.
Oh man, real something. The one
Real
that was
QuickTime?
real.
No.
Real X. Real.
No.
It was so bad, guys. It was a codec that was used for streaming. It was called Real something. And
Wasn't it just really real video?
maybe it was. Oh, it was
I think
bad.
it was something as
It was
simple as
bad.
that.
So,
Go ahead.
I wanted to hit you with a quick thought experiment to
him.
respond to the. Are
ready.
you ready for this one? Yeah,
I'm
this
always
one's gonna
ready,
be
Johnny.
weird.
Sexually, mentally,
It's-
whatever. I'm here for you.
This one's gonna be a little weird.
Well, it hasn't
Yeah.
been normal.
You don't say.
Continue.
Your significant other, who you love, right, steps into a machine who completely cures her or him, whatever, right, of any possible illnesses that they could have in the future. So they're gonna live a long life in terms of health and stuff. So great
where this
news.
is going.
However, there's a but, right?
Always
The
is.
but is he or she will have a pinky just like their pinky somewhere in their body. So like a pinky will grow up somewhere in their body. And
What the?
you
What in the hell is happening right
hold
now?
up. Here are the rules. You can choose where. So where would you prefer that your wife or husband have a new pinky
Can
grow
I have
up?
it just nipped off like you can a vestigial
You
tail
could,
in a
if
child?
you want to cut off their finger, yeah, but
I'd
you know,
have it. I'd have it. I don't like as a toe, but I just chop that thing right off, man. I'd chop it off with a machete.
well, you could choose an inconspicuous
Johnny,
place, like
this
maybe
is the weirdest
by the
Armpit?
ankles.
question.
Yeah.
I have.
Um,
This is so
Well,
weird.
just a little pinky by the
Do,
ankles.
do you
What's
wake
the harm?
up thinking of those, or do you have a
yeah,
separate hour
yeah.
of the day?
Are you like?
or...
Are these popping in your head? Like this sounds like a good question I need to
This
ask.
is a normal day in my brain, dude.
Yeah, I admit.
It's not
Oh,
even the
okay.
weirdest
I don't say. I know.
it gets.
I know. People will be like, "Oh, Karak said something weird in a review," and I'll be like, "Bro, you don't even, man. Like, not even." I mean, I've been around friends where like things get loose, and you have that moment where
Bro,
everybody's quiet.
You
and
should thank me. I was gonna make it about nipples, but it's just
Hey,
a pinky.
You can make it. What if? Okay. What if the same thing would happen, but they had nipples all over their body?
You guys are 10 years old.
Oh, for sure, less.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, what is love? What is love? That's all he was asking. What is love? What is love?
Baby, don't hurt.
We got a super chat. Somebody's like, please don't do this. Just sliding in to show my love. Perfect one-liner. Julian,
Also phrasing.
Thank you very much. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought experiments are cool, but I think they're better around games. So let me ask you a question. No. Can't ask.
Okay.
Because that's sort of. Let me rephrase something. No. Let me do it this way. If you had the ability, let's say VR looked real, right? Smell-o-vision's there. Touch-o-vision is there. So VR is really jacking in. Would you currently, right now, if you could choose the world, would you jack in and not return to this one? So meaning you could go to Cyberpunk, which would be dangerous. You'd probably die. But you could
Can you sustain yourself?
and you
like
could
sustenance?
sustain yourself. Your food would be delivered to you. In fact, let's say it's a government program where they're like, things are too dangerous, whatever. So we're just going to make sure people have the enjoyment they want. So you get to choose a world. Would you go into it foregoing the family? You couldn't come out.
So I could even choose basically a version of my real life, but that's incrementally better. Like I could pick a few
Like
things.
you had a pinky on your ankle?
Is everyone is everyone in there an AI?
Yes. You will know it's virtual.
And you're
I
alone
could
in there.
pick-
No,
I
you're
could
not
pick a
alone. You're in a
version-
world of whatever IP.
I know,
you
but there's
want.
no like other real people there,
No.
like
Mm-mm.
online.
No.
So
Right,
I could
that's
live my current life, but
You
where
would
I
know
don't
your
have.
mom and dad were not your real mom and dad. At all times. They would act like it, but you would never lose the conscious knowledge that you were in an
right.
artificial world. This is, by the way, a question before VR, before computers. We were
Let
kids
me just look
doing
at the
D&D,
list of.
and we used to say, would you go into a D&D? Because we loved D&D as kids. And be like, would you go into this D&D world knowing that like you would never see your family again and stuff? And I was always the guy who's like, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I love my mom and dad, but I'd be like, fuck, I'm gone.
Hey man,
but-
I just need to look at the list of hentai games in Steam.
Oh God, genital jousting. Let's say no. But would you go if you knew, like there was no way to remove, even if it was incrementally better or majorly better?
Yeah. So here's the problem. The whole thing gets spoiled if I knew that it was fake.
I know.
Right? So if I'm in it and I know it's fake,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to enjoy stuff because I'd be like, yeah, but like my dad's out there. Like this
Dying,
kind of like
you would
just
never be
said
able to talk to your real dad. He may die in the game.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and if you can fix this, I would be into
No-
it.
no
I would
fixes.
sign up today. Hold up.
No.
Hear me out.
No.
If you can erase my memory, so I go
No,
into your
that's
machine.
the entire thought process. You can't.
It's
Johnny,
just a design tweak.
No.
bro.
What if I go into
into a
VR in the
world-
VR world, guys? What if I go into? What if I make a world that's got better VR, and I go into the VR there, and then VR there? It's not
What if you
multiplicity.
go into a world where memory erasing is a thing? So
Yeah. You jackass. What if I go into Total
Amazing.
Recall and then I remove the no. Absy, you? Don't worry, your
Okay,
mom and dad
dude.
aren't watching, dude.
Yeah, fuck
he's
it,
tempted,
dude.
he's
Why
tempted.
not, dude?
I would.
Honestly, fuck it. Whatever, dude.
I would
I'll
say
just go.
goodbye
I'll
to
forgo-
everybody.
I'll
but I
forgo
would.
all my responsibilities and just bounce. Fuck it, dude.
So like their tubes, you wouldn't feel those. They were feeding you. You'd die
Just
of
go
old
in
age or
there.
whatever, and just go in. You'd always know. But Johnny said he couldn't enjoy it, but you already enjoy video games.
But like, is how good is the AI? Is it indistinguishable?
But it could be indistinguishable from Cyberpunk, as in it would look that glitch. You could sort of choose your art style. You get my drift?
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't
Okay.
have to look like dirty cups and shit.
And
Like,
you can't
that would
die
be
in
pretty-
there. Like no matter what you do, you can't die.
Right. You would die
Yeah.
when your real body ceased to function.
Yeah, it seems like good risk prevention.
I think it really depends on how happy you currently are with your life. If I was a farmer in Peru, nothing against Peru or farmers in Peru, I would be like, plug me in, right? Tomorrow.
Okay,
I'm
well,
in.
Reg has the best life of all of us, probably. Just financially,
what?
apparently, with all his games he's buying. Would you go, Reg?
Yeah, because games are so expensive.
You buy a lot of games, even if there were 1 cent, you're spending more than me. What would you go?
That's true.
Would you do that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Really?
It'd be hard to. Here's the thing.
Wow.
I think we have a tendency as humans to say yeah, right? You say look before you leap. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'll do it, and then that cloying thing would build up. And you see it in movies. By the way, this is sort of based on a movie, the Bruce Willis one, where him and his wife both live alternate worlds, and then you find out she's scarred. She's disfigured, I think, from a car wreck. It's the girl who was the Frost-like queen in the Bond in China. She was the I can't remember her name. She was one of the bad guys in the China-based Bond, and they both lived in another they lived in this fake world. I think Surrogates is the movie, I believe is what it's called.
Oh, is that where some dude's mom dies in the beginning?
Nope. I don't think so, but it's where
Don't spoil
they
it,
like
you
our
bastard.
action, or they're whatever, they have a better life. And then but they know internally as well. And then they come out, and what's sad is they're married, right? And they're both there's like a lot of heat, a lot of sexual romance between them in the VR, but in real life she's scarred, so there's like that interpersonal dynamic of you're not as good as the VR version of you, that kind of stuff. So it's always been interesting to me to see like what people, is real life that good?
To me, I'm tending towards no.
Rosamund Pike, yeah.
Because I think you would just opt to become the forever alone thing. Like you would always know that nothing in there is real.
Right.
True.
Everything is
and
in the eye.
it would cloy, right? It would
Bubble
continue to
boy.
pick at you.
And no.
Also, do you guys ever, when I was a kid, if I would play with toys outside and I would go to sleep and forget to bring in the toys, as a little kid, I'd be like, oh my God, G.I. Joe's outside by himself. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and go save him. I have like a weird thought process of thinking of things that have like separated. I think I would consistently be like, well, what's my real mom doing?
Right.
Does that make sense? It's a weird comparison, but that was the only way I could sort of think about it, is even if she was there, I don't know. I love to just jump into it and say I would, but then I agree with Rich. The forever alone where you're like, and now you're depressed in your VR world.
Yep.
And then one of your friends is like, hey, did you guys hear about VR in the VR world? No.
But it's like the machine from before. If the result is really good, you would get over it maybe. If your relationships are amazing in that world.
Here's what's weird. You hear absolute power corrupts absolute. That's not true. Like a lot of truisms aren't true at all. They're true for maybe a majority. But you do see that people who do get it all, they progress, like whether it be drugs or sex, you
get used to it, don't
shit
you?
gets weird. Like they overpronounce the other parts of their life. So it feels like, because I would be Caligula, right? Like I would go into a world and be like, let's fuck. It'd be pretty crazy. But at some point it would lose, that would be day to day. You know what I mean? And you would be like, okay, well, that
would be your new baseline.
That would be your new baseline. Yeah. And it would be, I think at that point, it would suck. It'd be still. Yeah.
I think you could keep it interesting for a good 10,000 years.
Somebody said, Skittlebear said, would that end up like Groundhog's Day, where there's no consequence for your action as the game resets? I didn't think about that. Because that's even worse. Let me tell you why. I think we'd turn violent in the VR.
Oh yeah.
If you had God mode on in a game, how many times have you tried to kill the villager?
Yeah.
That would be that's getting to the point to where I probably would.
Oh, we're opening a whole can of worms, dude. We are opening a whole can of worms right now.
But it would be awesome. Guys, if we live this long, you're gonna have a choice. I mean, not that choice, but it's not gonna be too long before you start hearing about people. Well, we saw it. Remember, was it South Korea where the kids died playing League of Legends? Or was that North Korea? We probably wouldn't know if it was North Korea.
For like 24 hours straight without like drinking water.
So that happens in a couple countries, right? As Reg said. So China, we know it's happened where people have died from playing League of Legends. That's a shit-ass pancake game. And they still died. I'm not shit-ass. I know people you know what I'm
Yeah, but they died because they
didn't take care of themselves. They
didn't at all.
But what I'm saying is we're already doing that. What I was saying is in a few years these choices are going to actually not be real, but you get like how many times did you guys hear about the guy who got the AI, the text to speech to sound like his wife, his dead wife? Did you guys hear about this?
Oh, like the movie Her?
I don't know.
or
Yeah.
something.
I haven't seen that. But basically, his wife has passed, and a company helped him make the AI sound like his ex-wife. And there was a whole like, does that allow you to move on? Does it like Reg said, forever alone? Now are you trapped in? Because how many times
Bro.
have you had a bad relationship and you don't move forward because you're worried about getting hurt or whatever? All that
Yes.
would, what were you saying, John?
Yeah, and you can take it a step further and go Black Mirror in one
Oh, yeah,
episode.
it was an episode of Black Mirror, yeah, where his wife died. Then
Oh, and he
and
well,
he made her
the
into an AI.
husband, I believe, dies, and she
And she
gets an
makes him.
android of him with perfect, like,
Right. Yeah.
he speaks the same way, and, you know,
Did you guys
all
see
this
the
stuff.
amazing story? This is years ago, but there was an amazing stories where basically the same thing happened. A VR replacement came in, and he's constantly questioning her, and then you find out he's the clone.
Holy shit.
It was gnarly. It was actually upsetting to me. It was mind blowing. Yeah, you
'Cause
find
could
out
see that
because he
happening.
was the thinker and so his clone was consistently treating her different because he thought she was the clone and he was the clone. You see it at Altered Carbon, the first one, at the end of that, when he has
Yeah.
a clone of himself and they have to do rock, paper, scissors to see who goes to the sex
Shit.
island and who dies. But they're both have self.
There wasn't a sex island, was there?
Yeah.
Oh, there was?
Yeah, one of them gets to go to the sex island to cause the multimillionaire to focus on that and think that he's over there, but the other guy's doing the high stakes spy entry and can die. Yeah.
Right.
That was a good show. I really liked Altered Carbon.
Good show, yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
Do we have any other
That was,
questions?
that was cool,
or-
man. I
I don't
like
know.
that.
Yeah,
That was
those
really
are good.
cool.
They're fun to do. I know people are probably just
Yeah.
leaving and being like, "What the fuck?" But you know what? You leave, we can still talk.
Yeah, today
I'm
was
just
a
joking. Don't leave.
interesting podcast. Toilet poop. We're good.
Dude, here's the thing.
Yeah,
though,
we
man.
covered a lot of topics
Everybody can
today,
jump
dude.
into any podcast about games. They're not going to hear about self-plunging toilets in any podcast, but
True.
the ACG Best Gaming Podcast.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying. What else do we have? Is that it?
We don't just cover games, we cover life.
We cover life. What's a good? I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna have that question. How long do you guys think
Yeah.
it'll be before people are dying from, not like, not going out because something in VR? Look at VR chat. People are like in VR chat 18
Oh,
hours.
Huge
yeah.
community there.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
all
They
the
are in
time.
there all
That's
day.
They're
I
partying,
should have
yes.
started the entire thing with just comparing it to VR
Yeah.
chat because VR
Yeah.
chat's already there.
Especially
it is
in
already
COVID.
there, and people are already there all the time. They are awake. Yeah.
Dude, and have
Oh,
you
yeah.
seen people now? Admittedly, people got married at WoW. We saw that, right? WoW.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Which I think is
Yeah.
fine, by the way.
People
And-
from my guild got married. And
yeah,
now,
I think that's awesome. In fact, because it just shows the spreading of information. People can meet people.
and
but-
Final Fantasy. Yeah.
But VR chat already shows the dangers because, dude, when you go in there, they might be in there 18 hours, but they don't act like people. There's something
Mm.
disconnected, man.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. It just, and that's the starting in 10
But
years.
then you
or
could
2
say,
generations.
is that an evolution?
No, that,
Like, it's different,
It's-
but
that's a de-evolution, man. I think. That's GTA trilogy, bro. It's a step back. It's a step back.
Yeah,
The
demaster.
demaster.
Have you been in
Nice.
VR chat, man?
I have.
Imagine
only like
dying
once. Yeah.
continually every time somebody says
There are
something.
strip clubs and shit. Too.
There
like,
are.
Dude, there's everything.
hot
Oh,
tubs.
what's the other game, Reg? We
Wow.
just talked about this. The
Second Life?
NFT game that did. Yeah, what'd you say?
Second Life.
Yes.
Or what's it?
Second
What would be
Life,
the other one?
Second Life. Years
Oh, I met a
ago
girl who did sex work in Second Life
Yeah.
on the
that checks
phone,
out.
kind of stuff, but in the game.
in the
right?
game. Yeah.
Yeah, because phone sex has been a thing since fucking
Right,
you know
yeah,
old
of course.
magazines.
As old
anytime-
as phones.
Since phones.
Dude,
Yes,
the day,
yeah.
I don't
the
know why.
day they invented
Very
phones.
phone call.
the first person who picks Graham Bell, whatever, calls one
They're
person,
like-
the next person picks up and they're like, "What are you wearing?
The second sentence,
Exactly.
they're like,
What are you wearing?"
wait a second, we can do this.
That's so
ASL?
wrong.
ASL?
Yeah. Slip it off.
Yeah.
Call me daddy. All right. Anyway,
Amazing.
Second Life was the last part.
yeah. I think that'll wrap it up for us. I want to say thanks to everybody who stuck through. We actually gained viewers. We actually gained viewers when it went. But anyway, I do appreciate everybody sticking through for this kind of stuff. You guys got to realize it is Friday for us, but at the same time, I think regurgitating game news can get a little bit
Yes.
weird for us. So,
But
'cause
do
we
let
talk a
us
lot.
know if you want, maybe on Twitter or wherever. if
You just
like
want to have your
this
fucking
type of stuff.
your soul shined
Listen,
by somebody saying,
I'm
Johnny
just
had a
saying-
good Johnny had
Well-
a good thought experiment. And Johnny's like, I'm a superstar. You're living your VR life.
Well, I'm more like, I don't know if it's a welcome thing or not. So I would like to hear from people if it's fun.
You want to go on the podcast? Come here, bud.
Whoa.
Oh,
Are we getting a special appearance?
I think he'll freak. You want to come up? Nope, he's too big now.
Nope.
The
Okay.
puppy's too big. I was like, my back, man. That's real VR right there. Yo, my back. I hurt my back in VR. Anyway,
Yeah, they
thank
don't
you
need to
everybody for showing up.
put that in.
Thanks for for whatever you do, and I hope you guys have a good time. There's amazing games out there right now that you guys can play, and I know that it's easy to be negative on gaming, but it's not easy for me because I think we have some spectacular stuff that's out and coming out. So
Yeah.
that's
Or
it for us.
play around with Unreal Engine.
Yeah, or Death
Dude,
Stranding.
so
yourself.
true. That's not a joke. That's so true. Unreal Engine is free. There are
Yeah.
thousands of free games that you can download and look at how people made. Guys, if you want to make games or if you want to know how they're made and what people are talking about, check it out. Johnny, what are you streaming tomorrow?
yes.
Genital
Lego Skywalker. No. Genital.
Lego Skywalker.
Lego
good game.
Skywalker. With a friend, so we're doing co-op for that. And then the other docket will be Final Fantasy 14. I'm going back to that game after kind of parking it for a few months.
Doing Endwalker.
And yes,
Nice.
And thank you to, let's see, we'll read a fruit. Chris Ruiz has been in here. SBZ, Citizen Sleeve, Mr. Agent, Alien Queen, and Alan Queen, Miss Bubbles, Bluntman 124 ever. 124 ever. I got it. Wint Year, I think you're in our Discord. Said Smith, the Plume, the Poom, Neo Conquer Kel, and all the rest of you guys. Great Ape. Hey, what's up, bud? The rest of you guys, thank you very much. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend. It is the weekend, right? Yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, my days are running.
Like
together.
every
Happy
other
weekend.
podcast.
I know, but I did a
Like-
podcast yesterday. Fuck you, you
Oh,
smart ass.
true.
All right, peace out.
True, true, true.